All right, everyone. Hope you're all doing good. I hope you're all doing well. It's time for another episode of Speedruns From the Crypt, your bi-weekly horror hotfix. I'm your host, Visage, and we do have some fun games for you in store tonight, and some spooky games. I have a pretty fun theme, I guess, in store for you. Before I do get into that, I just have a couple announcements to make. One, GDQ 2025 will be live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, from January 5th to 12th. You can visit gamesdonquick.com and check GDQ 2025 important dates for more information. As well, if you want to support GDQ Hotfix, I believe we have shirts now. You can check out the 2024 Season 4 t-shirts at theyeti.com/AGDQ. Alrighty, so today I thought we would dive into a fun video game mechanic that's present in a lot of horror games, but I guess you don't see it all the time, but it's pretty notable. And that is the idea of sanity. Today's, theme for the episodes is every speedrun is going to have sanity mechanics. Now, will we see this in the run? In games get kind of broken, so maybe not. But at the very least, casually, these games had sanity mechanics. In order, we're going to be having Haunting Ground, Amnesia, and Visage. So it could be a lot of fun, although I do know some of these games do get quite busted. Anyway, we're going to start with Haunting Ground Ending C with Ms. Scarlett Tanager. Take it away.
Heck, I'm going to need you to knock on wood because, you know Haunting Ground. We might see some panic today. Hello, everyone. My name is Ms. Scarlett Tanager. I am known as the mother of bunnies. You can see them in the background there. White one is Tally, gray one is Scariest. They are my couch, essentially. We are going to be playing Haunting Ground, which, yes, is definitely one of the horror games of all time. It's one of my personal favorites, and I actually know that Ecdysis also runs this game. But we're going to get started, and we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1, peek. All right. Haunting Ground. It's the unofficial Clock Tower 4, and we did just have Clock Tower Rewind get released, which I haven't played yet, but I'm excited because I got my physical copy just yesterday, actually. So we are playing as Fiona Belly. She was just in a car chilling with her parents when shenanigans occurred, and she wakes up in a spooky haunted mansion. Classic horror games. And she just needs to go find some clothes because at the moment she just has a sheet, which is rather cold because it's an old castle and it's rather drafty. So, Ecdysis, are you feeling frog today? Are you feeling froggy?
A little bit.
You feeling a little froggy? Okay. I am also feeling a little froggy. So we're playing technically the New Game Plus category because it helps with a lot of the eccentricities of the game. Oh, which one's the frog one? I can't remember. It's the last one, I think. I can read Japanese, I just can't read. There we go. So we're going to be a frog because we have access to those costumes. And you know what? Why not? Sometimes you just feel a little froggy. The frog costume isn't really going to be, that helpful during the speed run, and it wastes time to get it. But, I mean, why not, frog? So we're going to be seeing the first and only stalker we're going to be seeing during this run because this is ending C, where we use some of the New Game Plus stuff to end the game early, one of those classic endings. This is Debilitas, aka Debbie. I love Debbie's, probably my second favorite of the stalkers, just because he's adorable. 3, 4, and what you do there is you do 4 what we call backstep tackles in order to get Debilitas. Just go away for a little bit because you can't really do a lot of the puzzle stuff while you're being actively chased by a stalker. And here we're going to do a little bit of typing to get all of the play keys or the key items that we're going to need for the run, at least in terms of the play key part. So the first one is called Meth. Then we have Rest. And finally, Adamus. Oh. I do not know how you type this so quickly, Dice. I've never been able to do it very well.
Muscle memory.
Yeah, fair. I have a tendency to be a little bit twitchy with it. So now that we've got those 3, if this was the ending A run, we'd be doing a lot more of the typewriter. But we only need 3 of them for ending C. Kick this door open. Kicking doors is slightly faster than opening them the normal way, but you have to be careful where you do it because you can only do it from doors that open outward. And if you do it too much and in certain areas, you can summon the stalker. We don't want to do that. But we're going to take this long ladder here. Now, the whole ending C thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to get a very specific key that you can only get after the first boss fight, or the first stalker fight against Abilitas. So that's pretty much all of the game that you're going to see. But it does have probably one of the more entertaining endings, in my opinion. All right, so we're going to go in here and get ourselves a key that half of the time I forget to pick up because for some reason Fiona doesn't pick it up during the actual cutscene. You have to pick it up from the table afterwards. Do not forget the thing. Pick up the thing. Thank you, Frog Fiona. Okay. I cannot even count the number of times that I've forgotten to pick up that specific key for some reason. We're going to use the key, not the plate key, that key. On this door to open it. And this is our little introduction to luminescence, or loomies, as I like to call them. They're not really that much of a wisdom tooth in the game. They're not that much of a trial in the game. Unless you just get really unlucky and they happen to catch you right in the doorway of an area. Because if they hit you, they make a loud noise and they draw the stalker towards you. You don't want that. But thankfully, they're slow and they're relatively easy to dodge. Okay, so we got the map there. The map's not going to be useful, but we need it in order to trigger a cutscene coming up here, which we're immediately going to skip, if the game lets me. Okay, and then here's where we found out that Fiona's parents and her were in a car accident. Oh no. And she passes out. She does that she passes out 3 times over the course of the game, just from the stress of the game. But that's the only one that you're going to see during this speed run. Now we heard some whimpering, and oh look, it's a doggo. We get doggo friend. This is Huey. Huey is the best boy. Now we don't technically get him yet, but we'll get him in about 10 seconds. Once we get back up to the room that we just came from, which is where we will actually acquire the doggo. Huey has a reputation in the Haunting Ground speedrunning community. He doesn't like to listen. So we've sort of routed out specific places in the run to use specific commands with Huey to try and like game his AI to get him to listen better. Because the game has a mechanic where you sort of train the dog as you go along. So you sort of train the dog's AI. The better trained Huey is, the better he listens to you. The problem is, this is a speed run, and we want to go fast, so we don't really care about properly training Huey. So we just gotta sort of hope he works correctly. See, like right there, he decided not to follow me. In order to get him to do what we want. But thankfully, this is ending C, so he's not going to be as much of a jerk. Okay, come on, Huster. Right. So earlier, you saw me pick up a little bit of a lavender. We're going to be using that right about here. And that's because of the stamp mechanic in this game. Huey, come on. So Fiona runs slower if she's run for so long, because you know, if you run forever, you're gonna have a hard time. But that's Fiona, get the door. Thank you. But that's not gonna be as much of an issue coming up here because we're gonna get an item that's gonna mitigate some of that. I'm gonna tell Huey no, and hopefully he'll obey. No, he won't, because he's being rude.
Come on.
Huey! I hate this hallway so much. There we go. Okay. When Huey barks, that's when you know that he's actually paying attention to the command that you just gave him. So since Huey barked, we know he's going to follow us, and we don't have to worry about it. Now we need to bring Huey all the way through this long way instead of taking the slightly shorter path, because Huey can only get down.
Go, Huey.
Huey,
Go, Huey.
I know you love me,
Go, Huey.
but that doesn't mean
Go, Huey.
that you should search for items for me right now, honey.
Go, Huey.
Huey.
Go, Huey. Go, Huey.
Huey's just being really rude to me today. It's okay. He's still a good boy. Sometimes. All right, Ecdysis, what do you want to bet I get caught by Debilitas coming up here?
No, I think you get it.
You think you'll get it?
Yeah.
Coming up here is going to be a dodge on Debilitas. I'm going to do a slightly safer strategy, but it can be very, very RNG whether or not you actually can get past Debilitas here without him seeing you. Now I'm going to definitely make sure not to forget to turn this off because we're going to be coming back through this room another 2 times, and this turns off an instant kill directly to my right. All right, so I'm going to focus a little bit here to try and get past Debilitas without getting seen. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Don't turn around. Oh, you saw me. Okay, so we're gonna lose about a minute of time loss here because of Debilitas seeing me. So you were wrong, Ek. I got seen. What you're trying to do there is you're trying to get past Debilitas without him knowing Fiona's location there. Sadly, he turned around before I was able to get through the door. I find the spot where I was at a little bit more consistent usually than the slightly faster method of going directly next to the door. But sadly, you know, things that almost never happen decide to happen when I'm trying to do it for a marathon run. So we're just going to do the hide mechanic, which you normally don't see during the speed run. But because Debbie decided to say hello, we're going to have to sit here in this closet while we wait in order to get past him. And this is the reason why I had a 30-minute estimate. All right, now it looks like Debbie's gone. He's not. It's a lie. The game said no enemy. The game's lying to you. It does this a lot. So anytime Debilitas, as you say, it says no enemy, it's still lying to you. Because you can hear the music. As long as you can hear the chase music, you're still being actively chased by the stalker. Do I risk it? Yeah, we're good. Okay. So as soon as the background music of the game comes back, you know that the stalker has either despawned or is far enough away from you that they don't matter anymore. All right, so we're just going to slip on through here. And we're going to use that Adamus plate key. So the Adamus plate key is going to get us an item that's going to make our stamina management just non-existent in the game, which is really, really nice. We're not really going to have to care about it anymore. Okay. Alrighty. Now we're immediately, as soon as I go through this next room, going to get chased by Debilitas again because Fiona's going to fall off a cliff-ish railing thing. And we're going to have to run around and hopefully not get caught by Debbie. But the big RNG part, sort of RNG part, is whether or not Huey decides to be in the room we need him to be in. Coming up here. Hi, Debbie. All right, for some reason, Debilitas hates this specific room, so he will not go into this room until we kick the puzzle at the lever at the top of this room. As soon as we do that, Debbie can now come in here. It's one of those video game mechanic-y things where games says that there is a puzzle or something in the room, therefore enemy cannot go into the room. It's a fairly common thing that happens in a lot of stalker games, having an area where the stalker cannot go. 1, 2, 3. Another example I can think of is Mr. X from Resident Evil 2 Remake. There's specific rooms he cannot go into, like the save rooms. Alright, so we're being chased by Debbie again. He's gonna jump over that wall up there, but we're not gonna see that because we're going fast. Yes, hello, Debbie. Please leave me alone. I don't want your hug. So in the lore of the game, Debilitas thinks that Fiona is his dolly. He wants to give her a big hug, problem is Debilitas is extremely strong, and if you let him give you a big hug, he will break Fiona's spine. We do not want that, so we do not want to get any Debilitas hugs today. All right, I got good RNG on the door being open. Great. So 2 things are going to have to happen here. There he goes. Okay, cool. We want to make sure that Debilitas is still following us. We want to make sure that he knows that we're here, and we want to make sure that Huey's in the room. So Huey's in the room, and the reason that I can tell is because every time you call for Huey, Fiona's head will turn towards him if he is in the room. So as long as he stays in the, don't go through that door. Okay. So as long as you have Huey with you in the same room and you trigger that little cutscene there, then Huey will push Debilitas off of a railing, and now he's down there. We are not safe for him yet. We still need to run away. Thankfully, all we have to do is put distance between us, and he will somewhat despawn.
Come on.
Okay. Huey, are you gonna baby? There we go. Good boy. Can't give him any good boys, though. No good boys for the Huey. Because giving Huey good boys is slow. All right. Come on, Huey. No, Huey? Don't you even. So Huey will sometimes get his attention taken away by different things in the background of the game. He got distracted by the little hole in the wall there, which he will be going in a moment here.
Huey.
But first, we need him to go into this hole.
Go, Huey. Go.
Come on, Huey. Huey?
Go, Huey.
Okay, he's going. Because we need to get him to get this flower for us.
Go, Huey. Go,
Huey?
Huey. Go, Huey.
Okay, Huey. He's like, no, I'm just gonna sit here, Mom. Aren't I a pretty puppy? Yes, you are a pretty puppy, Huey, but I need this flower. All right, we're gonna tell him to come out of here by going towards the hole, and this is where the ending C part happens. So the first thing with ending C is we need to open this crate, because we're gonna be coming back through there later, and it's easiest to open it now. Hey, Huey.
Huey.
Come on, doggo. All right, now I'm not going to do what I did during... Huey, come on. Huey? There we go. Huey!
Come on.
What I did during my... I think it was my Frost Battles run of this game,
Go.
where I got chased by Debilitas here because I got a little full of myself and kicked too many doors. So we're not going to do that. Yeah, even though this door's open. So we're going to open these doors the slow way, which is to open them normally. Sigh. We're going to use the flowers on the vase to get these moths to go away from another door. We could kick this door as well, just slightly faster, but we're being safe, so we're just going to open it normally. Yes, I have lost runs here to getting caught by Debilitas. The stalkers run both on a
Go, Huey.
timer and can get summoned by specific events in the game. This is one of the sections where it is possible when you're doing a run that the timer part can get run out. And the timer and the quote-unquote timer before summoning the stalker is dependent on the time that has passed, as well as how many loud things Fiona has done, like kicking doors or getting hit by luminescence, etc. Alrighty. So now we've got the desk key. Yep, there's the Loomies. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me. Cool. Come on, Huey. So at this point, Huey has lost his... Yep, there's another one. Huey has sort of lost his usefulness. There is nothing that we're going to need Huey for the rest of Ending C.
Come on.
But let's keep him with us all the same, because, you know, he's a good boy. Alright, so we're going to be taking the shortcut. Go all the way back towards the beginning of the game. Every time Huey growls during this part, it always freaks me out, because Huey can growl at two things. He growls at entities, but those entities can be things like luminescence, later on homunculi, or it can be because he knows that Debbie's on his way. And that's also true if you hear Huey whimpering like it was a moment ago, which happens if you are not in the same room as him, and he is in a room with a, there we go. And he is in a room with a enemy. And use that key that we found in order to get a lunar mirror. So we're going to need that to open up the pathway to Debilitas' boss fight. Oh. Debbie, why? That was literally the worst possible place for Debbie to spawn. He can spawn in quite a few positions there. Oh, it looks like he's deciding to be nice. Cool. Or not. He might knock me off the ladder. No, he's not. Okay. So the most dangerous place that Debbie can appear is where he appeared, because he's directly in your way, and there is a chance that he can knock you off that ladder that I was going down. Technically, knocking you off the ladder is time save. It's something like 10 seconds of time save, but there's literally no way to plan for it. I preferred when he spawns down the hall instead. That is the door, Fiona. We're still technically being chased, but it doesn't matter. We're so far ahead of Debilitas. We're going to be able to get to our destination. And once we get to our destination, Debbie can't do anything. So it's pretty great. When I was doing practice for this, I ended up panicking on this. Fiona ended up panicking on this little stretch here because of almost that exact same thing happening. Him getting to me at the ladder. What happens when Fiona panics? Hopefully you're not going to see it during the boss fight with Debilitas, if I get lucky enough. But Fiona doesn't really have a health bar in the way that you would think of as a standard video game health bar. She has an invisible panic meter. Now, the more spooky things Fiona sees, or the more times Fiona gets hit by stalkers, she'll start panicking. The screen will start to go sort of wibbly wobbly, not quite photo negative-ish, but the screen will start to go wonky. Now, if that happens too much, Fiona will go into panic mode. The problem with panic mode is if you are in panic mode and you get hit enough times while in panic mode, she'll go into like a super panic mode, and once you're in that panic mode, you're one hit from death. We don't want that to happen. But there is a real chance that it might during the Debilitas boss fight, because Debilitas' boss fight is rather RNG. Now what we're doing here is just a big old long block pushing puzzle. Standard video game horror stuff. Thankfully I've played this game enough times that I know this puzzle. I have not messed it up in a speedrun yet, being the operative word. Just pushing some blocks. So yeah, funnily enough, we're not like too close to the end. We still have probably about another 5 minutes-ish, 5-6 minutes. But as soon as we do the boss fight, which is directly below this area, we will be just running to victory. It'll just be running around to get a couple things in the mansion when there is no stalkers to chase you, because the stalkers have been deactivated at that point. Because for the period of time after you defeat one stalker and before you activate the next stalker, you're just completely safe to run around. Which is pretty nice when you're trying to, find glitches or find other ways to get through the game. Of which we've only found one, really. But you won't be seeing that glitch because it's something that happens at the end of the game. In A ending, not C. Your puzzle is done. Now we can go down here. There we go. All right, so we're going to use that lunar mirror that I got on here. And we're going to turn it just like I turned that other one earlier. Twice. And we're going to turn this other one over here once. In the other direction. There we go. In order to open the door to the little cathedral where the boss fight takes place. Yes, I know Huey isn't with us, but the boss fight spawns him for some reason. Video game logic. Anytime Huey is needed for a cutscene and you don't have him actively with you, the game just spawns him. Alright, I'll take this room in a very specific way. Because there's in fact pits to death in those shadows. What the game wants you to do is to send Huey out in order to show you where the path is to get through there, but that is slow, so we just do it ourselves. We're gonna pick up the goddess key here, which is what you would need if you were doing A ending, but we're not doing A ending, so it's just for progression. There's the doggo. And boss fight. I'm immediately gonna tell Huey to stay. And I'm just going to come over here, start kicking this, and hope. Oh, good. Okay. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to bait Debilitas? Wow. Okay. Cool. That's probably one of the faster Debilitases I've had. He was actually being really nice today. So what we did there is there's two ways that you can get through the Debilitas boss fight. One is to just kill him, quote-unquote, normally, by kicking him a bunch, making Huey attack him, etc. Come on, Huey. But the faster way to do it is to break those two chandelier hooks and get the chandelier to fall on him. And it's fastest to get just Debilitas to do it to himself, because it takes way too many hits for Fiona to kick it down herself. Alright, come on, Huey. Now that we've done that, at this point, like I said, stalkers are deactivated. We don't have to worry about being chased anymore. It's kind of great. But if I was doing A ending, I would have gone up those stairs instead of out this doorway in order to trigger the next stalker.
Huey.
But instead, we're going to go say hi to Debilitas, because he's not dead. A chandelier fell on him. He is technically behind us, or at least he's supposed to be. But even though he is behind us in that other room, he is already just teleported to his little shack over here. We're just gonna go say hi to Debbie in his shack. Hi, Debbie. So Debbie likes us now. Debbie doesn't think that we're his dolly. So Debbie gives us a key because Debbie wants us to get out of here and go home and wait for this all to blow over. So at this point, now we get to take usage of that great gate. That gate that I opened up earlier, because this is the shortest way to get to where we need to go to get another key. So Debilitas just gave us a key, so we can go get another key, so we can actually end the game. And this is where we get to make use of the final plate key, the rest plate key. That's not a plate key, that's the plate key. This opens up the restroom. Oh, that's the pause button. Lo and behold, the rest key opens up the rest room. Could have kicked that, oh well. Then we're going to use the key that we just got, the smudged key, to open up this specific bathroom stall. That's not the smudged key, that is. Alrighty. And in here, for some reason, in this hidden area in the back of the women's restroom, or at least the restroom in general, is the key to the gate. So you can only get in here after you've beaten the game once. This is New Game Plus only. You cannot do this if you haven't beaten the game. It doesn't give you the option. So now, since we have that gate key, we can literally just go to the gate of the mansion and leave. This is one of the games that actually lets you do the meme of, why don't the horror protagonists just leave? This game actually lets you do it. And it doesn't end horribly like it would in, say, the original Clock Tower game, where if you tried to do that, you just get game ended. No, the game just lets you walk out. Oh. And time will be when I use the key on the gate. As soon as I get all up here. And time.
GG.
GG. So yeah, you get to see Fiona trying to use the key on the lock with her giant Froggo hands. She gets some encouragement. I should have made a stuffed toy Huey. Oh well. So yes, there are also costumes for Huey that can turn him into things like a stuffed a stuffed toy dog to go with the frog. But if you ever get this game yourself, which you can, it is still available digitally on the PS3 on the Japanese store specifically. Don't try to get this game, the English version, unless you have a lot of money to spare. It is very expensive for a physical copy of the English version of Clock Tower. Or I said Clock Tower, Haunting Ground. The unofficial Clock Tower game. Okay, so Fiona's just going to escape here. I'm just going to skip that for time. This is Lorenzo. He would be the final boss of the actual game. But alas, we left early, so he just gets to be sad that we left and he didn't get to say hello to us. So goodbye, Lorenzo. And that is Haunting Ground. AKA Demento. In Japan, it's called Demento, but in English, it's Haunting Ground. All right. So yeah, I guess that's it. It's our ending. Ending C. The time is bad. It has a bad in-game timer, so we don't use it for speedruns. But my name is Miss Scarlet Tanager. You guys can find me over at twitch.tv/Miss Scarlet Tanager. That's MISS, Miss. I'm not streaming that much at the moment because I'm working on editing my fantasy novel, hoping to maybe get that published or at least start getting it published next year, fingers crossed. But when I do stream, I stream over on there. I streamed yesterday, first time in a hot minute, but yeah. The bunnies have their own dedicated webcam, so come check them out.
All right. Well, thank you for the run. Once again, if you did enjoy the run, you can check out Ms. Scarlet Tanager with the link in chat. As well, we do have a couple of more runs for you. We'll be getting those in a moment, but first, for a few announcements. Join us in celebrating Black Joy with Back to Black from February 6th to the 9th, 2025. I can find out more information at gamesandquick.com/blackinaflash. As well, we have GDQ's next all-women and femmes speedrunning event, Frost Fatales 2025. All right, everyone, welcome back from the break. Hopefully you did enjoy that first run. We do have a couple more for you coming on up. Now, when you think of sanity mechanics, this is probably one of the most notable games, if not the most notable game you probably think about. A classic horror game, but we're not going to be playing by the rules. Honestly, if you've never seen this run, it is a bit of a treat. It's much less a horror game, and honestly, I think it's closer to Mirror's Edge, but you'll see more about that soon enough. Anyway, here is Amnesia, The Dark Descent, any percent with Blood Thunder. Take it away.
Oh boy, do we not play by the rules at all in this run. Hey, my name's Blood Thunder. You can call me Blood or BT for short. I run a whole bunch of different games, but Amnesia The Dark Descent is one of my long-term favorites. I started running this back in 2013, and I just run it on and off since then. But yeah, it is extremely broken, and it's gotten more broken over the years. The whole sanity mechanic, we won't see a single second of it. It's not going to matter. Spoiler alert, but we'll get into it because we have plenty of time to talk about the stuff as we go. If you're scared of horror games, don't worry. This will be pretty light and breezy. So we're just going to start a new game, and as soon as we get into it, we will start time.
Don't forget.
And we're off. All right, so I'm immediately going to quit out 4 times and load back in. We're just going to hit Alt F4, which seems a bit silly, a little convoluted, and it is. It barely saves any time at all, but we're just skipping past some of this dialogue Daniel has at the start, and you're going to see we're just going to instantly warp through the beginning. So we're in Castle Brennenburg. We play as Daniel, reliving the events of what has happened. We're kind of in the midpoint of the story. A whole bunch of stuff has happened beforehand. Then we got Amnesia, and we're trying to figure out what happened so that we can go and stop the big bad of the game. Which starts with us laying on the floor of the entry hall, which is one of the only times we're going to be inside the map for an extended period of time. And you're immediately going to notice the graphics look kind of police station era, despite this game coming out 2011. We play on very specific graphic setting that makes it very pixelated, so we can do some really cool lineups later on, which are rather specific. So we're just going to wake up. We don't have full control. Daniel's still kind of coming together. So he's kind of like leaning over, getting a little wiggly here. But this is the hallway we just completely warped through. You're going to notice me jumping a lot. That is not really like a bunny hop mechanic at all, but there are some boosts you can get off of certain slopes, especially if you're going downhill. So it can help with that. And I also just kind of like spamming jumps because it gives me something to do. Or just walking it down a long hallway. So another big crouch around the corner. Put our ear to the floor. Alright, some more spooky stuff happens, but we're just going to keep on running. So this purple goo on the floor is leading us to the lantern here in just a second. This is from the Amnesia mixture that we gave ourselves the drink. Because it turns out Daniel is not a good guy. He did some really awful things. And then in order to forget that stuff and then try to relive it so he can realize the horrors of what he's done, put a stop to it, he drank the Amnesia mixture. We're just going to go in here long enough to get our movement speed back. So we're actually moving at a slower rate at the beginning of the game. And that's where the lantern is, but we don't need it. We're just going to immediately go out of bounds. Up on the ceiling, you're going to be seeing this a whole bunch. Be very careful. So like I said, we can get boost. That can send us off into the void, which is no good. And now we're going into the first hub of the game, which is usually like a big area, but don't blink or you're going to miss the entire thing. I'll explain this in a second. And there goes the entire first hub of the game, the whole entrance hall. So load warping is a really weird mechanic in which whenever you load into a map for the first frame, you're put at a very specific position on the map. It's usually like 0-0, but not always. And most of the time that's the spot where you enter the map for the first time. For that one and a few others, that's not the case. And on that one frame that you load into that spot before you get teleported to where you should actually be, you can interact with stuff. So if you're right next to a door and you're holding down interact, you can click on that door on that one frame, or a couple of frames, and there's a monster. Just ignore him. We're also going to go out of bounds using a box here again. But yeah, you can just click on the door before it loads you to the proper spot and skip a whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to talk about slippery physics here in just a second, which is a really odd way of clipping out of bounds too. Because if you just boot up the game and try to do it, it's not going to work. But it turns out if you launch the game in compatibility mode with Windows 7, for some reason it enables what community calls slippery physics. So instead of just a box hitting your head and then falling off, it'll actually push you, which allows us to push ourselves out of bounds. It's the infamous water monster. One of the scariest monsters in gaming that you will never see. So we're going to distract that monster. Grab another box and try to go for a clip here. This one's a little odd. We just drop this on our head. Try it again. Right, second try. And we need this for not only this door, but later on as well. There are some key items that you can potentially miss in softlock if you don't pick them up, but I've run this a couple of times, so that's not going to happen. Anyways, we have another big chase. But the cool thing about this game is these walls are not just one big piece of collision. There's actually like hundreds, if not thousands, all the way up every single wall. And so by spamming jump, we can hit a lot of that collision and just get big boosts. Just essentially climb walls. And the game really doesn't try to stop you from clipping out at any given time. There are some walls you can literally just walk through. Very easy. Like you can boot up the game and go try it, which I'll point out later. It's really like, if you think you can do it, you probably can. Ooh, banister boost. That is a pretty rare trick to get, so that's pretty awesome. It's about to drop a word I probably shouldn't say, but all right, so this is Hub 2. This is kind of how hubs work. It's one big area with a lot of different offshoots where you have to go do different areas. You have to get certain items, and then you come back for a big puzzle. We're just going to pop through this wall. The cool thing about hub areas is this is where load warping really comes in handy. So going to face the door, load back in, and for like single frame, we are right at the door. I'm holding down interact, so we can just click on it, and we don't have to run all the way back out. So we can do that for every room in this hub. Saves a lot of backtracking. This is the room where Daniel talks about his gerbil.
My journal is gone. What would they want with my journal?
It does say journal, but I like to think he says gerbil. Just gonna pop on through. So gonna skip an encounter with a monster. Just gonna grab this key. This one's barely faster than actually just running back. But most of these strats would be done using in-game time, meaning the load times don't actually count towards the final time, so you get a little bit extra time saved that way. So yeah, when I'm going downstairs, I can get a big boost just randomly. That's something you can really get consistently. There are some consistent boosts you can get here and there, but these stairs aren't really one of those. Okay, so in storage, we need 3 items. This is where you could soft lock if you don't pick these up. It's actually not required to have these items for getting past this hub, but we need them later on, so cannot forget to get them. And we're grabbing them in a specific order, so that I spawn in the monster here on the 3rd piece instead of on the first one. There's a whole bunch of different routes you can go for in storage. This was just kind of a marathon safe one. It has less annoying clips to do overall. So a lot of these areas are super dark, and you're supposed to have the lantern. We will never get it. The game will never assume that we're supposed to have it and just give it to us, unfortunately. But yeah, let's turn up the brightness, and we can get by. We're gonna jam this box in here. So that drill part's gonna spawn the monster. You can hear him up through the map. And there is very specific pathing you need to take once you're out of bounds. Either you can fall off into the void, or you can hit certain flashback triggers, which is a bright white flash. We'll see one here in just a second. Which, the only reason that's bad to hit is because it's going to slow you down during the duration of it. It's also very blinding, so we don't want to hit them if we can avoid it. So they look like this, and then hear some voices. For the most part, we want to completely route around these. The same for taking any sort of damage. We can't die from like fall damage, but whenever you take damage in this game, you move slower, and the more you take, the slower you go. Which is why we're also picking up laudanum, which is our kind of health management. So another quick little load warp back. And now we have all the pieces we need to solve the machine room. So doing that banister boost that we did avoids a trigger here, which when you hit this for the first time, it opens the door. But if you hit that and then go and do a whole bunch of stuff, it closes again. So it's nice to hit it on the way over here. Combine the drill parts that we just got. So we don't need them for this, but we have to open our inventory. So just combine them there. There's a really fun way to solve this next puzzle. Instead of just flipping the switches normally, because it's kind of slow, just going to grab a box and kind of hit them all at once. And that solves it pretty quickly. There's actually multiple solutions to that. That one just really works well for the box. There's like 2 or 3 different combinations that actually all work for it. So we're in a flashback, which is why we're moving slow. And now we have a couple more things to solve here to get the elevator running. We're gonna put these rods in, which we went and collected. And so another thing that makes you go slow is by holding an item, such as one of these gears. You see me just kind of pick them up and throw them, so we don't have a slowed movement speed. Oop. We don't really need to keep track of which one's which. The game will kind of solve it for us here in a second. Here's the 3rd piece. And now we need 3 coal for the burner. There's another fun fact about this puzzle. You put the coals in and you're supposed to turn on the switch and burn them. You don't actually have to pull the switch. I don't know why, but if you just place these 3 in here, it counts as solved, so there goes that. Pull this handle, face the door, face towards where the door should be. Do another load warp. And back out we go. Now it's gonna be a while before we can find a spot where it's worthwhile to load warp, because most of the maps from here on out are pretty linear. They're not a hub section, and the spawn points are almost always where you come in, so load warping wouldn't be super useful. But it wouldn't be a horror game without a creepy elevator falling. And this is where you gotta brief moment to take in how beautiful the graphics look the way we play. A little water break. So this flesh popping up is what's known as the shadow. It's chasing us because a long time ago we found an orb. And the orb comes from the other world, which is kind of explored in Amnesia Rebirth. There's a lot of lore in that game, kind of connecting the overall universe together. But essentially we found this orb of power and its guardian protector, the shadow, is chasing us to kill us. And the man who owns this castle, Castle Brennenburg, Alexander, says, hey, I can protect you from it. I know how to do it. Come work for me. And inadvertently, he gets us to end up torturing a whole bunch of people. We'll shoot here in a little bit. Oh, this is the prison where they lock up the prisoners. And so that's all the horrible stuff that we did. And then we took the amnesia mixture to forget. So we're in a flashback slow moment, but if we hold this rock during that, we actually don't move any slower. I don't know why, but Rocky's our friend. He's a cool guy. Coming up here is a pretty cool section because we're actually going to run right past the monster. Hello. And while most of the time flashbacks are really annoying, there's a cool side effect in that monsters will not attack you.
Where did she go?
So he's just going to go sleep or something. I don't know what he's going to do. Yeah, if we're in a flashback, the monster can't damage us because it doesn't want to get rid of the story. So it just walks off and we can go do what we need to.
There's no telling what horrors. I'll wait down there.
Here's a couple of flashbacks that we really can't avoid at all. And we're entering the back half of the run, which gets a little bit more hard. The strats get a little bit scarier, and some of the tricks come with a bigger risk in terms of speed. So we'll see what happens. First, we need to get there.
Someone's coming. Hurry! I'll cover the hole with the bed. Everything will be fine.
Also, this flashback is very long. Yeah, so it's been a little bit of time since we've been out of bounds, so we're just gonna hop on through. And you have to be really careful with how you walk on top of the map. You can notice I'm not going towards the sides because they're kind of sloped, and if I jump there, it can boost me off. So it may look like I'm just kind of jumping in just random spots, but I'm being very careful to avoid different spots. Took some damage there, but it's a very low risk one, so it's fine. This is kind of a hub section, but we're going to skip the entire puzzle by just going to the morgue instead, because this is the only thing that we need to spawn in the sewer level. So we're just going to do a big boost by getting a whole bunch of jump inputs in this corner. Being in a flashback makes this a little bit trickier. We just stack up a whole bunch of jumps, get launched into the air, and make it up to that little rock. So we're going to go out of bounds right at the start of this level. This is the morgue. We're doing this to avoid another flashback that's right in this hallway. It's like right here or something. We really don't want any more of those. Actually need to jump out to get around some invisible collision there. Pick up a safety laudanum. And now we're going to go say what's up to our buddy on the table. We just need Daniel to clip back in, get another safety laudanum. Some of the strats are risky when it comes to damage, so this is why we need the stuff from the storage to drill into this guy, otherwise you can't do this. And now that we have clicked on the dead body, we can load warp back so we can once again avoid the flashback in the hallway. And this is where the graphics really come into play, because we can turn around immediately, look kind of where this blue line starts, and then just hold forward up. Go for this clip, which is really nasty, but hey, first try, that is actually really nice. Even with a good setup, that can take like 5 to 10 tries. So hey, the game's being really nice. Banister boost, and then that, awesome. Okay. Water also slows you down. I'm just going to jump through it. Quick little jump scare. Don't worry, he's going to get Thanos snapped. Whoop. I'll be back. Sewer is one of the scary maps because we need to make a safety save. We're going to clip out of bounds, and then there's a very small space to stand. So we need to boost out, not fall in the void, and then boost up the wall. But we're not done yet because we're going to boost up this big wall. And hope we don't get launched and take a bajillion damage. Oh my god, we didn't. And no fall damage there. This, okay. I might actually be cheating. This run's too good. For a marathon kind of event showcase thing, this is amazing. You guys are in for a treat tonight. All right, cool. That's another scary map down. So you can really see how curved these are. You really want to stay in the middle of this hallway. Fun little trick that we don't get to show off too much, but we're just going to jump and interact with the ladder. So we're jumping up, grabbing it, jumping up, grabbing it. Just on repeat. It's actually on my mouse wheel, so I can spam it really fast. But there's not too many ladders in this game. Who needs ladders when you just have random beams that let you climb up? All right. So if I line this up correctly, we're going to hit the side of a wall and not take any fall damage. Okay, that's crazy. So sewer and that fall right there were the two big reasons I was picking up extra safety laudanums. So we're kind of cooking right now. I don't mean to alarm anyone, but it's kind of a good run. So now we're back into the nave hub. This is kind of the big last hub of the game. So we're supposed to go and collect the pieces of the orb so you can get into the orb chamber where Alexander resides. So usually this area is too dark and people don't notice what's happening, but the game's actually giving you a hint to follow these pipes because it's supposed to be a big sprawling area that you're supposed to get lost in with the monster chasing you. But if you follow the pipes, it takes you right to where you need to go. Just no one ever sees it. So yeah, we can get some boost off these little stumps. I got 3 laudanums. Well, grabbing safety laudanums so far has treated me well, so we'll grab another one. Sure. But yeah, this area here, the choir, and the other area, the transit, each have 3 pieces of the orb, which are accompanied with various torture devices that was used. It's actually faster to just do a load warp here. You go in, immediately 180, go back in, so we still have to go with the other 2 pieces. So I need to walk in a very specific way once I cross this bridge so I don't spawn the monster in my face. We don't want to immediately take a left. We want to kind of go back against this wall. And now he's going to spawn kind of over by the 3rd piece, and then we have a different way of getting over there. There's also a lot of stuff scattered around the 3rd hub, which is used for getting the different endings. Like saving Agrippa, you would grab a plant there and do all this other side quest stuff. But, that is a little bit slower, so we're not doing that for this run, but some people have done runs of it. It's a little bit scary of a jump, but it's not too bad. We go over this big void. Whoop. And you guessed it, we're going out of bounds again. Okay. Let's go around this wall. So even though we're out of bounds, we still need to go through walls. This one's very easy to walk through. We're just gonna jump in the corner. Whoop. And this part's also a little bit dangerous. That's fine. I'll heal it later. But we have a very small space to exist on the edge of the map here. So we're doing all of this out of bounds to avoid a flashback. We need to land there. Okay. And now we're just going to load warp back out because that's so much faster. The very old strat of doing this before load warps were found is you would actually fall off the map, which takes like 20 seconds to respawn, and it'll respawn you at the door. And that was faster than walking back, and it's a really awkward strat of just falling for like 20 seconds, but I don't want to do that anymore. So this is another spot where looking at the graphics really helps out. We just line it up, run into the wall, and then pop on through. We're doing all this because we're not actually opening up the different areas the normal way. As you may guess, it's from a speedrun. So yeah, there's some big closed doors that you have to normally solve a puzzle for. And we don't have time to do that. So we have 3 pieces of the orb. We need the other 3, which are in the transept. A little bit smaller of a map than the choir. But there are quite a few flashbacks here too, so we're just going to run around the edge of the room. Get past one of them here. So you can still see like the pipes leading us to the right areas, but this map is so small you're not going to get lost. We're just going to pick up piece number 4 here. Avoid all the gore and brutality going on in these rooms. Little rat. So we kind of do this in an awkward way, once again, to avoid flashbacks. So there's a flashback in this room, there's a flashback in that hallway. So it just kind of makes sense to do these, and then we're going to go out of bounds right through this wall. So we've got this handy dandy piece right here. Now we're backtracking a little bit, but yeah, once again, it's just to simply avoid getting slowed down. It does work out to be faster. Ooh. And we have some interesting tricks coming up right after this. We're gonna drop down, try to not fall damage. Final orb piece, so we can load warp back out. So Nave 3 has one of the funner strats to go for. We need to run into a wall, jump, and then once we clip out, immediately like jump over a void on the floor. Otherwise we fall. You can see this big gap that we just completely jump over. Be pretty lethal. So yeah, if you see the screen's red, that means I took a lot of damage. Damage is semi-randomized, especially for fall damage. It's like really determined on like the speed at which you fall and not necessarily the height. So sometimes even though you fall the same distance, you're going at a faster speed. So instead of 10 damage, you take 40, and that's no good. You can recover health over time. It's really slow, and I don't believe you get up to full health. There's like a cap somewhere along the way. But we're just gonna run away from these monsters. If you come into this area before you get all 6 orb pieces, it's just kind of a standard map. But getting all of those 6 pieces, then coming here triggers that fight. And they're going to take you off to the prison. So the fastest way to end the fight is just to run away. The monsters don't want you to actually leave the map, so they smack you. They take you to prison. Get another good look at them. What a cutie. And now we need to have ourselves a little jailbreak. So we just need to get out of here, go to the orb chamber, confront Alexander, and that's pretty much Amnesia the Dark Descent. So we're going to do a little bit of a fancy strat here. We're going to crouch jump into this window. It's not really a window, but where this bar is. Walking into it's going to break it, and we're going to pick it up before it actually falls, slam it in here, smack the pipe with the chair, and that gets us the key. You can also just put a water bucket through there, but that's no fun. Anyways, the shadow's now chasing us. It's very angry. Not much of a threat, but that's what's behind us. We have a fun little speed strat to go for. It's not really a big deal, but it's always a goal I try to have. So the next part looks like some red Kool-Aid. We don't want to get our socks wet. Somebody wet socks. So I'm just going to see if I can avoid dipping my toes in it. This doesn't save much time, but getting around these corners is always a fun challenge. It can be done. Rather tricky, but little dip. Got some Kool-Aid in our socks today. All right. back to the nave through a door that was previously locked, kind of back up towards the top where it came in the first time through the sewers. And so yeah, all the pink flesh is the shadow. It will actually randomly damage you. It's not a lot of damage, it's just kind of annoying because it moves your camera. And yeah, perfect example. There's really no logic behind it. I'm sure there is, but as far as our run goes, it just kind of randomly happens. So we fall in a very specific way not to take any damage because we want to save our extra laudanum for the very end so we have enough speed to clip through a wall. You can't get through here without getting hit from the flesh at all. One's not bad. Back to the chancel. This is where the fight happened just mere moments ago. I'm actually going to try to get a boost off of this. Oh, okay. Sure. Here, another random hit. So if you want to just have a fun time with this game, you want to like, oh, look at this little party trick I know. This is extremely free. You can boot up the game and do this like first try. You just run at this wall and you'll just pop on through. It's as easy as it looks. Now doing this is not, the timing is a little precise, but yeah, it's gonna, even though we have the ore pieces, we're not gonna combine them. Just get this past that tunnel. Don't we have to go get some tar? And we don't got time for that. Okay. Final map before the boss fight. Take our 2 laudanums. You can see our health here. Here's our sanity, by the way, that we've just not paid attention to. We need enough speed to actually just walk through this wall. Now we get to see Alexander. Time's going to come up once we knock over these 3 pillars. It's not much of a boss fight. So there's 1/3. There's 2/3. And 1 more. Alright, he's been defeated. That's GG. That is the end of the run. So this is where different endings kind of come into play. You can either knock over the pillars and doom both yourself and him. He's up there. He's a little naked. I can show that. You can throw a gripper's head into the portal when it spawns. You can just not knock this stuff over and wait for the portal to spawn. And even though there's time, this all fades out. It's on a loop. There's an out of bounds you can do here. So you're just making your way back through Castle Brennenburg so you can leave. But on this next warp, you immediately turn around and just walk back this way.
Quite the contrary.
I just didn't expect you to walk backwards. You can just fall out, see all the different warp spots. Doesn't do anything for you at all. It's all on a timer, so. Just heading out. Fun little thing to go for here at the end. I believe last time I showed this off on a GDQ Hotfix. I actually got this, which is really rare, but play a little game of chair basketball. Let's try to get this bad boy up here.
I gave them that.
Oh, almost.
I did the right thing.
And that's been Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Very fun, very broken game. There are glitchless categories and plenty of other categories as well. But if you like games like this, I speedrun all of the frictional titles. So Amnesia's Penumbra, Soma, Amnesia: The Bunker's actually on backup for GDQ. Maybe they'll get in. It'd be pretty cool to show that off. But I also run a whole bunch of other FPS and horror games. Bioshock, Wolfenstein, Doom, Outlast, Resident Evil, tons and tons of stuff. So if you like those, you can follow me on Twitch. I post a lot of stuff over to YouTube as well. I've done all the games back to back to back. I've done all the frictional games together. Glitchless, it was like an 8-hour run, which people seem to enjoy. But they do this quite often, so thank you guys for having me. It's always a blast to show this off. Like I said, I've been running this over a decade now, and I never get tired of it. This run's awesome. You want to learn it, we can help you. We can help you get there.
All right. Well,
time for
thank
Mr.
you
Maxey.
once again, Blood Thunder. Oh, thank you once again for the run.
Thank you.
It's very much appreciated. Always good fun seeing Amnesia as well. If you do want to check out Blood Thunder, you can find the link in chat. And not only is Amnesia the bunker on backup, but Blood Thunder will actually be running another game. I know it's not exactly entirely horror, but I believe he'll be doing Tomb Raider 2013 as on the first day of GDQ.
There's a little bit of horror in there.
I definitely remember some of that game. It reminds me a lot of a Soundhold Downpour with all the slides. But it should be a fun run from what I know about that run.
Oh, yeah. If you like broken runs, Tomb Raider is nearly as broken as this game, to be honest with you.
All right. Thank you once again. Before we go to our last run of the night, I do have a couple announcements for all of you. One, join the official GDQ Discord, and you can add the Hotfix role, where you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. Use !Discord in. All right, everyone. Welcome back from the break. Hopefully you've been enjoying the runs today so far. It has been fun taking a look at these different games, and it's been pretty fun since we've had a couple of very different games for our first two. The next one is going to be a little bit different. I would say it is quite the amalgamation of many different horror games as a whole. It does dive into many of the mechanics, not only some of the standard mechanics we saw, well, I guess didn't see in Amnesia, considering, well, I guess most of it was hopping around. But this game does pay homage to a lot of other horror games in general. So you can think kind of like PT, Eternal Darkness, Amnesia. It's kind of hit a lot of those notes. But I do believe we have some fun tricks in there as well. So maybe it does kind of break the mold a bit. So where we don't see quite what you'd expect. Anyway, I can tell you about this game, or I can have the runner tell you a lot more, which I'm sure you would love to hear. We're going to be having Visage 80% with Maxi Lobes. Take it away.
Yes, hello everyone. As X said, yeah, this game is kind of an amalgamation of various horror titles. I think it started out as like a, hey, we want to make a game that would be like PT if it was actually a game. And then it kind of just expanded a lot in like early access and kind of became its own thing with different influences and Easter eggs and stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to be running the full game any percent, and there's a lot to talk about, but we're just going to get started. Visage is hard, by the way. That's the first thing that you read in the game when you press new game. Visage is hard.
It's hard to control, for sure.
It's hard for many reasons. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go. Visage.
I'm so scared.
So like I said, PT, we literally wake up in the same exact way you would in PT. And the house that we're in is kind of like it's made to be like a hub area, but it's not quite. It's hard to explain, but we're going to ignore that phone. That's our neighbor calling us. We don't want to talk to them. They're a nice neighbor, but they're just, just don't got time for that. Oh. I already messed up a trick. That's okay. I'll do it again in just a moment. You got to do 2 of them. It involves this beer can.
We can cut that in post. You're good.
Yeah, we'll cut that in post for sure. So this is the way that the game kind of informs you of how you do things, little tutorial pop-ups. But you can actually skip being stopped by them if you have an item and you run into the trigger for it like that, so you can keep moving even with the pop-up on the screen. Oh, okay. The game's already messing with me. So, as X said, Eternal Darkness. Yeah, this game kind of just does random things. It'll open doors and turn off lights and make random things move, and yeah, it tries to trip you up. So right there, I've triggered chapter 1 because this game does kind of go by chapters. Now I don't want to get in the chair, There's no time to sit. We gotta pick up this key. So chapter 1 is Lucy's chapter. We started that by interacting with the cute little panda poster on the wall that you couldn't see because I had a tutorial prompt up, but yeah. And here's our inventory. It's just like a bunch of cubes on the right side of the screen. And the game...
than cubes.
Yeah, nothing scarier than cubes. Cubed menu. We're gonna kind of do a bunch of event triggers here, pick up a camera. There's Lucy. Very ominous. We're gonna also get a tutorial for lighters, because that's the light source you need to keep your sanity. Because that's kind of how this sanity meter works. It's like, you know, if you're in the dark, you lose sanity. That's really that simple. But there's, like I said, a lot of random things the house can just kind of throw at you and just do, and some of them will decrease your sanity by a ton. You can actually see that in the bottom right. There's like a brain icon. The more visible that is, the less sanity you have.
Now, you've said it a couple times, what some people are asking in chat. What does PT actually stand for? Because not everyone's aware.
Playable teaser. So playable teaser is something that Hideo Kojima and his team decided to make as a way of promoting Silent Hills. It is probably the most famous tech demo of all time. But it really is just a hallway. It's not really like a demo for Silent Hills. But yeah, I think the Visage team just really took inspiration from that at first. And then they started taking inspiration from other Silent Hill games, and then Amnesia and Eternal Darkness and stuff like that. As you can see, this is like Downpour, except with stuffed animals. So, that's neat.
Nothing scarier than stuffed animals.
Yeah. Those very blank facial expressions from those teddy bears and those rabbits.
I mean, you never know what's on the inside. Like, it could be anything.
That's true.
It could be spiders.
That would be tragic, actually. Oh. Give me this key. And there we go. That's the trigger we need for the treehouse. So I guess this is Lucy's treehouse. The backstory: Lucy has an imaginary friend who isn't as imaginary as maybe one may think, and he tells Lucy strange things, and then she gets angry and upset. This is basically me when I get bad runs of this game.
This would be when I have to play this game.
Minus the long hair, yes.
Well, it's getting there. A couple more months, maybe.
Really? Darn.
My hat's like a stuffed animal. You never know what's on the inside.
Ah. So
I'm
now
excited
we
to see
just
the rest
wait.
of this run because I've only played through Lucy's story.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna see some wild stuff. So, yeah, this game, it's broken in a very unique way, in a very Unreal Engine way. Also, if you have the beer can still, you can, like, make the teddy bear and rabbit jiggle. Just for fun. We gotta get rid of it, though.
Scary.
That's scary, yeah. But yeah, it's broken in a really unique way. Probably one of the most unique ways of any game that I run. I think Amnesia is probably one of, like, the prime examples of, like, broken horror game, where you just kind of, like, clip out of bounds and skip loads of stuff, you know. do like the save load warping and stuff like that. It's a very cool run. This has none of that, but kind of similar in the way that you break the game. There's a lot of sequence breaking and very, very odd things. Some of the skips in this game, they're not things where it's like you just run the game a lot and then you find the skips just accidentally. No, the person who found all the skips in this game, Hippo, did some magic, some black magic with this game to find the things that he did. That's what I believe, at least. And it'll be very apparent when we get to Chapter 2. That's when the game starts really getting just ripped apart.
So you're saying Chapter 1 is the worst and the second is the best?
Yes and no. Chapter 3 is really cool.
Okay.
Chapter 3 is really cool. But Chapter 2 is really good. Chapter 2 and 3 are the best parts of the run, in my opinion. But alright, this is RNG. We gotta find a key. It's a birdcage key. Okay. Not in there. Not in there. We gotta go check the drawers over here. Oh. Okay, it better be in this drawer. Oh, thank God. Okay. If it wasn't in that drawer, we would have had to go way far back in the room. So that was the second worst spot you could get that key. I believe that's what I got in my world record too. Very common one for me. So Visage kind of works in a way where like there's just a lot of event triggers and you have to... Hello, game? There we go. The doors were supposed to disappear seconds ago, but okay. There's a lot of event triggers and you have to continuously hit all of them, otherwise the game just doesn't progress. There's Lucy. She's sitting down, playing with, you know, her pet bird.
Oh, that's nice.
The pet bird's name is Pico. I don't think Pico found it very nice, but there's a jump scare here. Just forewarning. I like to let people know because it's loud and very sudden. So I know I'm a real nice guy, you know. Just...
Oh,
we're gonna take a picture of it though, so say cheese. And then there's Lucy, and she like force pushes you down the hallway. And now, so you're probably wondering how this house works, because this is just getting ridiculous, right? Every single time this game throws you into the house, and it's like, there's like something off. You know, all of the light switches are off right now, like they're removed. So that's something that's kind of weird about the house. It kind of means you're in like a different state of the house. Another jump scare here. So, and it's always chapter based. When you're in chapter 1 and chapter 2, the house changes dramatically, and there will be very odd things that don't make sense about it. When you're out of a chapter, the house will just remain and stay the way that it usually is. Now we're gonna pick up this chair through the wall here, just like that. I have no idea why, but that kind of is a thing with this game where you can interact with objects through walls and stuff. Originally, when we were routing this, there was a couple of ways that you would skip things via, you know, interacting with things through walls, but we don't really do any of that anymore. That's the only one that we do now, is the chapter 1. And it's a little skip. It's not anything fancy, but skips a teeny bit. Now you're probably wondering, what in the world just happened? Why are you teleported back here? This is on patch 3.02, specifically because of certain skips. And in patch 3.02, sometimes this happens. Pretty much all the time this happens. But yeah, now we're back where we're supposed to be. And we're like, what I skipped essentially is why you have the camera. Like, they want you to be able to use the camera as like a light source. We're not really going to be doing that very much.
But it's dark and I'm scared.
Okay, I'll use the flashlight a little bit more just for you, BT. Except it's it's really bright. It kind of went overkill with how bright this. Well, I guess they had to because it's. Oh my god. Okay, I need to stop doing that. I'm gonna stop.
Horror games love bright white screens. I don't know why. Please stop using it, devs. Nobody enjoys it. Oh, there's so many doors.
Yeah, there's a lot of doors in this section. Now, my sanity is fine, but, like, there are a couple of sections in the full game 80% that we're doing right now where we might have some close calls. It is possible. For Lucy's chapter, it's very improbable that that will happen, but chapter 2, however, might cause issues. We'll see. We'll see how well I play, how well I can remember how to do everything. Oh, spooky. There's a bunch of extra scares in this section that obviously I'm not going to interact with, but like they're actually kind of funny and also kind of good at the same time. There's one that's like a very Tool music video-esque, and I laugh at it every time because it's just like, that's what it reminds me of. Even though it's supposed to be really scary, I'm just like, yeah.
I was like the layers of fear kid running down the hallway.
Not as funny as that. Okay. Nowhere near as funny as that.
It's an all-time classic.
Oh yeah, that'll never die.
Kind of a common theme with horror games. When you go fast, you just see a lot of it. Not so much as scary, but as goofy. It's like, oh, it's a weird animation. It's a weird monster.
Yeah, that's very common. Especially when you kind of get into like the indie game scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the darkness and shadows and being scared is supposed to hide all of that jankiness, but when you just run face first into danger, it's like, oh, wait, actually, this is the goofiest thing I've ever seen. That's why speedruns tend to be really fun in the horror genre.
There we go. I was trying to activate a trigger for this bathtub to start filling up, and also reminder, if you're cold, they're cold, so let them inside.
Now, are they outside, or are they just like in the wall?
I mean, they're supposed to be outside, but if you free cam,
is so big, like surely it's like a mile to outside.
If you just free cam, yeah, it's very, very funny thing I'll point out later about that as well is that like this game uses a lot of very interesting tricks to make the player look at something, and it seems like that's, you know, like this really cool like set piece, and then you free cam and you like zoom out, and it's just the funniest set of assets. This bathtub takes a while to fill, so in the meantime, we're going to turn the lights back on and we're going to pick up the pills. Pills here. And we're going to pick up this extra lighter, and we're going to switch hands so I can put this hold on. So I can put this camera away in the shelf here. Good. Let me check. Yeah, okay. We have everything. So this is going to be the end of chapter 1. Just need to get into the bathtub.
Nothing scarier than taking a bath.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, our main protagonist here, Dwayne, by the way, his name is Dwayne, so you can play as.
Classic Dwayne.
You can't see his body, but he's a thing. Dwayne Anderson. Dwayne, like a lot of main protagonists in horror games, is kind of just a silly guy. He just does things. They don't make a whole lot of sense, but this is one of them. Gets into a bathtub with his clothes on.
And the wrong way, too.
And the wrong way. Yeah.
He's got that faucet in his back. Oh.
Awful.
And the shower curtain's in the water. What's going on here?
Wait, shower curtain is in the water. It's awful. It's not how you do it. I know he's stressed out, but come on. Pull it together.
This man's never taken a bath before.
So the ending to chapter 1 brings you to this weird, like, nowhere land. It's just like a floor of, like, black water, which
Well,
is
like
a
the evil
hint.
within.
Yeah, this is basically the evil within.
Why would she do that?
Yeah, and these are all scenes that are, like, hinting at how the parents dealt with Lucy's condition. And I'm doing movement that I hopefully did correctly. I think I did it.
But who the hell prescribes her?
Yeah, I did it. Nice.
She's only been working.
So, the reason why I was moving backwards and right is because you can't actually see these little, like, conversations. You have to just move into them to trigger them early. So I took a very specific line there. And then this bathtub full of tomato puree.
Well, might as well get in.
Uh-huh. Dwayne is just the meatball. Also, Dwayne forgot he was taking a bath. Which is why he's currently underwater. It's like, oh god, I was taking a bath.
Oh, the water's about to spill over, man. Gotta get together.
He's gotta be careful here. But yeah, that was, that's basically chapter 1. Now we're just watching a cutscene. We're just chilling. Except the ceiling is completely bloody, and also Lucy is in here.
Unlock the door, please. Lucy? Are you okay? Open the door now! Lucy!
What's going on?
She locked herself in there. She won't open.
Lucy, open that door now.
Now, I know how shocked you all are at Dwayne's inability to take a bath correctly. It's okay. Pick that jaw up off the desk there, okay? Here. Lucy will give you hers in a replacement.
Just what I always wanted.
Mm-hmm. So now we're going to pick up the videotape, pick up the jaw. We're going to go start up the next chapter. Dolores' chapter, chapter 2. Now, in Visage, there is a bit of a mechanic where you have to complete a singular chapter before certain things start happening. Oh, I messed up a little bit. I was supposed to put the videotape in first. You have to complete a chapter, whether it's chapter 1, 2, or 3. You have to complete one before you are able to collect certain things that enable you to complete chapter 4. Because yes, even though chapter 4 is not actually listed as a chapter, it is technically a thing. I want to get the pills out, and we want to wait for this quick save. You'll see the quick save icon, and then we can go down the stairs. There it is. Oh, wrong key. There we go. So if I recall correctly, that man that we're seeing there is Dolores' husband. Okay, nice. We got the other tutorial prompt skip. We're gonna pick up this hook, which we need to open up the attic.
It's a nice couple.
Yeah. They seem, very welcoming. I'd feel very safe in their household. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, all of the chapters involve people who lived in this household before Dwayne did. That is a thing that I forgot to mention. This game's story is I wouldn't necessarily say very well done, but there is some stuff in it that is pretty cool. They got some good stuff going. Just overall, some stuff also just isn't very good. It's a very large
Let's
mixture.
say they tried their best.
They did try their best. But sometimes you don't always succeed. Gonna pick up the slipper. Look at the mirror, look at the slipper, look at the mirror. That opens this door. And then we activate clock. I am just doubling up on lighters right now. I need to put one away. I'm gonna hold forward into this wall because that's where the stairs are gonna be. It's a big old piece of licorice here.
Oh, that's the scariest candy.
Licorice? Yeah. It's funny. Every single black licorice candy I've had, I hate. But black licorice jelly beans, I actually like those.
It's terrifying. Put two terrible things together, surely it can't be good.
See, that's what you would think. Well, actually, wait, you don't like jelly beans at all?
No, not really. Pretty low on the list.
I wouldn't say they're high on my list either, but a juicy pear jelly bean, that's the best flavor. Dolores. Huh?
Pear?
Juicy pear?
Oh.
Did you think he said hair? An H?
Oh, pear.
Yeah, pear. Yeah, pears.
I just don't ever hear anyone say pear is their favorite, like, fruit. Or, like, favorite flavor of jelly bean.
Really? Interesting.
It's usually, like, cherry or strawberry or watermelon or...
Yeah, Jelly Belly's a juicy pear. All right.
That's not a surprise. Not hair, pear.
Imagine. All right, you're going to hear the audio cut out here, and that's because I'm going to set the game affinity to 3 while I have time to do that. Yes, that's right. You heard me correctly. I just went into Task Manager and set my game to affinity CPU 3. Only 3. That's all we need. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to perform a glitch that requires your game to load slower.
Oh,
that's
classic.
Right. It's quite the opposite of PC speedrunning nowadays, where you need your game to load really quickly. Nope. This game, you need your game to load slow. Oh, okay. Well, some entity turned off the lights. Now I'm in darkness. Thank you. Picked up some keys from my jeans in the laundry. We're gonna pick up this portrait here. And now this car. Somebody has driven a sledgehammer through the windshield of your car.
Hammer
But, like,
first, too.
Yeah, right? But, like, who would do this?
I mean, they must have done it from the inside, too.
Mm-hmm. Which is even stranger.
When you have a hammer, just break the whole thing out.
Maybe this is where Dwayne just keeps his sledgehammer.
It's not a bad spot, honestly. You know, you're driving, just reach over, grab it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it doesn't want it.
Also, yes, that car alarm is going to continue to ring. You'll hear that. You'll continuously hear that every time we go past this spot.
That's why the neighbors are calling.
Uh-huh. Like, yo, your car alarm, dude. 4 hours later, yo, your car alarm, dude.
Dwayne's
just like
showing up by then.
Yeah. Dwayne's just like, sorry, I'm fighting my demons. So this is a very cool winding hallway. I actually really like this hallway. It's pretty cool. Chapter 2 has the house split up into 2 areas. You'll have to jump down a hole or go through this hallway in order to access them. Gonna pick up that tape early before I forget. We're gonna come over here and break this mirror. The mirrors that I'm breaking, they lead to areas that you need to go into in order to pick up various things to complete the chapter. There's actually a lot to Chapter 2. It's the longest chapter in the game. It's usually the part of the game where people struggle a lot because it's just so much longer than Chapter 1 or 3, and there's so much more to do, and the resource management usually becomes an issue. So,
it's just
hey,
I'm sorry. I'm just
stop talking.
tired. Would you be a doll and fetch me?
Would you be a doll and remove this invisible wall, please?
I'll wait here.
Come on. Alright. By the way, that bonk noise that you heard didn't used to be there, and then the devs added it back in.
Added it back in, so they took it out and then put it back?
I think it was in early access, and then the full game came out, and they removed it, and then they put it back in. Because everybody was like, hey, I like that funny noise. Alright. So there's a loading trigger over there by that bench, and there's also a loading trigger on these stairs. putting these two loading triggers so close to each other makes it so that if your game is not loading very quickly, like I said, I set my affinity lower, it'll cause two different areas of the game to load in at the same time. So now we have a specific version of the house loaded in at the same time as having the outside area loaded in. The outside area is where you access the cemetery. So weird things like this will happen. And we're going to use this to our advantage. We're going to come over here, go to the left to kind of despawn that stuff, and then move over here and to respawn it. See, we're in the main hallway. Stairs. We need these stairs. These stairs are very important. We're going to try and lift our... Oh, okay. Quick. Nice. Quick first try. Gonna lift ourselves up, and then we're going to try to crouch clip through the... Wow, that was also really quick. Okay. Crouch clip up here. Yeah, don't mind the branches. They don't have collision. It's fine. We're going to come up here and go get the tea bag from the box up here in the attic. Yoink that. Drop down through here. Open this up. And now we are going to do some loading and deloading. Hopefully I don't mess it up. This is very specific. I think we got it. Yeah, we got it. Okay, cool. Now we're just going to yoink the vinyl through the floor. That is one of 2 items that you need to complete this chapter. And in order to get that vinyl, you need to pick up 6 other items. There's a bunch of like toys that you put into a baby cradle. We just skip all of that. What I just did pretty much skips 20 minutes of the game. It's pretty large.
That is one of the more unique tricks I've ever seen.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I, to this day, still don't understand how Hippo found any of that. Now you can see that everything's really bright, and that's because we are technically in the outside area, but we're inside. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense, doesn't it? We're going to... Wait, can we do this right now? I think we can. Hold on, I'm trying to remember things. Yeah, we do this right now. T? Oh, right, I need to drop this. That makes sense. So the outside area is technically loaded in still, so like everything's super bright and sunny, and so you kind of see things you're not supposed to. Like in this room, we're gonna turn around and get absolutely annihilated by Dolores, but there's just like this bright white hallway.
I knew it. I'll show you, you damned scoundrel, what bread you're worth.
And yeah, just things look really silly. But we also picked up some extra portraits. We're going to use those for chapter 4. There's a couple more I need to get, and we will be doing that very soon. Just need to get myself out of the... See, when Granny said, "Oh, you're my little snickerdoodle," well, she took it really seriously, like very literally. So she put you in the oven.
You really like your games with grannies and horror houses, don't you?
I do. It's you know, very much so a reoccurring thing. I don't know why.
I'm not gonna shame it. I'm surprised you fit in the oven, though. It's impressive.
Yeah, I have no idea how. I think Dwayne is supposed to be like 5'9" or something. Like, there's no way. There's no way, dude.
4'9" to get in there.
So because the outside area is still loaded in, by the way, we have our running speed still, which is great. We need that. But we also need to load in the house again. We need to deload the outside area by coming over here. There we go. Because if you drop down this hole without doing that, it's really bad. Oh, we also have to... Oh, well, I messed up that prompt, but okay. We also have to get our sledgehammer back. I totally forgot to do a certain thing earlier. Wait. Oh, there it is. We're going to close that. We're going to try to pick up... There we go, the portrait there. You couldn't really see it, but trust me, it was there. You saw it, sort of. Bathroom, open. All right, now we're going to jump through this hole, and this is going to lead us back to the... Like I said earlier, this chapter 2 like separates the house into 2 different sections, so we're going back to the other section of the house because we need to access a couple of rooms. Oh, this is also when I should probably be setting my affinity back to all processors. There we go. Cool. Yeah, just for a little bit of extra loading time.
Now, is that something you have to do, like, you have to find out how it works on your own PC, or is that a method?
Yeah, no, if you have a high-end computer and you cannot do the skip, you need to fiddle. You need to fiddle with the affinity to figure out how many cores you need active for the trick. It's not super specific. Probably not too hard to figure out. In general, I would say this game is not hard to learn. It's just hard to execute some of these tricks. They are like that whole chapter 2 skip that I did is like way harder than I made it look. Wait. Am I going the right place? Yeah, I am. I need to... No, pick that back up. Need to break this open, pick up the lighter. Now we're going to activate something called save movement. We're going to bring up the save menu here, and then we're going to get out of the chair. You're not really supposed to be able to do this, obviously. And then we're going to make a save while moving through a trigger here. Hopefully I do this right. I can't tell if I did that right. We're going to find out. Essentially, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to save the game after activating the trigger. And then when you load back in, you're already past the trigger, so it won't happen again. It'll only just save your place in the hallway, which is going to allow us to skip this entire puzzle. Did I do this right? Nope. Gotta go back. So this is a little bit tricky. The timing for the save is like pretty precise. But hopefully we'll get a second try. That felt good. That felt good. And yep, we got it. Cool.
Nice.
So we skipped that entire puzzle, and I mentioned earlier that some scenes look really, really cool. So this is Dolores, and you can like see half of her face like pop in, and she's like massive, right? If you actually use FreeCam and zoom out, it is quite literally the entire asset. It is Dolores, but like a Titan-sized Dolores. And her entire body just moves forward slightly. It's really, really funny to look at. But yeah, this puzzle that I skipped usually has you like picking up a couple of different items and doing some scene transitions, and it's long, so we just do the kind of save movement abuse there and skip all that. And this is how we actually get the phonograph handle. And now we are going to put that on, put on the vinyl. And this is what you need to complete Chapter 2. You need this. Unless you do a specific glitch in a different category. Which we will not be doing. We're going to pick up the crowbar, because we need that at the start of Chapter 3. And then this song plays, and we have these stairs. This is exactly what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like. You have to follow the music in order to complete this puzzle. But you can actually do it the way that I'm doing it, which is by not following the music and then dropping down here. Perfect. And now we have pretty much officially completed Chapter 2. I believe I picked up every single portrait. If there's one that I'm missing, I will probably know which one. But I'm pretty sure I have them all. It's important to pick up all of them in Chapter 2 because you have the extra movement speed from the Chapter 2, like the cradle skip that you did. And I also picked up the videotape in the drawers, so I think we're good. The routing for this category is a little bit more complex than the other category that I just mentioned, which is chapters %, where you complete Chapter 1, 2, and 3, and you don't complete Dwayne's chapter. There's a little bit more that goes into this. But yeah, that is Chapter 2. Dolores' story is, like, extremely tragic. I won't even go into detail. But yeah, it's a horror game, so... I think her story is the least favored one. I think Chapter 3 has the best backstory. Rakan. We're gonna play his chapter next. I think that is probably... Rakan and Dwayne's backstory are the best, and definitely the ones to pay attention to the most if you play this game. Because Chapter 1 and 2, while I think they're great for being, you know, walking sim puzzly horror games, yeah, they just don't hit the same.
Actually, if we have a moment, I actually have a question about the run that I think about it.
Go for it.
So when I play this game casually, I remember that you have a lot of freedom in where you're, like, what order you're able to play. Like, if you want to do Chapter 3 immediately, you can do Chapter 3. If you want to do Chapter 2, you can do Chapter 2. It doesn't lock you in all, right?
Right.
So I guess my question here is, how did you come to the order that you're speedrunning it? Like, why is it Lucy, Dolores, and then I know next to the hospital, but I don't remember the name of the guy.
Rakan?
Yeah.
So in Chapter 1, you could technically do Chapter 2 first. You could. But if you do Chapter 2 first, then you don't have the movement speed to pick up all of, like, the portraits and the extra things. And if you do Chapter 3 first, you're doing all of, like, the hardest skips in the game first, which is an option. I just simply don't do it because I find it to be more entertaining for myself to do it in the order that I do it. But Chapter 3, Chapter 2, and then Chapter 1 is an option. You can do that.
Makes sense.
That is a thing.
But 4 always has to be last.
Yeah, because you have to pick up all of the... You can't do, like, Chapter 3 and then 4. You can't do Chapter 1 and then 4. It's just, like, so much slower. Also, Chapter 2 is the only place you can get the crowbar. and you need the crowbar for Chapter 4. I'm actually opening up a little part of the floorboard here for Chapter 4 later. Don't fall through it. Get back up. Dwayne. 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 There we go. And we have to do this silly animation of him climbing back up. I fell through the hole, no!
It's not a horror game unless you fall down a whole bunch of times.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Now we can drop the crowbar. We're done with that. Now we're gonna go activate save movement. Let me just make sure I have all the portraits. I think that's all of them. Gosh, I hope so. It won't let me save. Why? Why won't it let me save? That's weird. Can I save after I activate Chapter 3? That's odd. Hold on. How do I recover from this? Do I...
Are there any checkpoints in this game?
I would have to load the autosave. It's not that far back, but I want to see if it's area-based.
Is it because you fell down that hole?
Possibly. Possibly. I'm gonna move this and see what happens. Okay, still can't save. Let's pop in a different tape. I won't be able to show off a certain glitch, probably. But you know what? Let's go ahead and try the autosave, just to see what happens. Potentially, I could activate save movement first. That might be the trick to this. Oh, nope, the autosave is the tape. But I still don't have my save game option. Oh no, that's so unfortunate. That's so unfortunate. Also, I remember where I forgot one of the portraits. It's right here.
Can you save
Okay.
now?
Okay, let's... Do I have a safety save for this?
It would be crazy if you did.
Let's... I actually think this might be it. I actually do think I have a safety save for this. All the portraits, key. What do I have in my inventory? Oh, I have the crowbar. Yeah, I think this is actually... Bless past Maxi. Bless past Maxi. Wow. Thank goodness I have a save for this.
It's the real life sanity mechanic.
Yeah. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so I'm going to activate save movement, and it's going to allow us to skip a long cutscene at the start of Chapter 3. Let's not fall in the hole again.
How long ago did you make that save?
July 2023.
Wait, so you loaded a safety save from July 2023?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, it is safe.
I can't see. Oh, I can see.
Hold on. You said July 2023, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we should add like a year and 6 months to like your estimate.
Yeah, actually, you should.
Part of the runtime. Technically, I mean, you prepared this a year and 6 months ago. Wait, no, it's 5. I forgot. It's July, not June.
Yeah, I'm just trying to activate it
off a month
again.
on your PB. Good job.
All right, back to actually doing things properly. Okay, save movement. We got it. Starting chapter 3 by picking up Rakan's... What do they call that? Crutch. And then sitting in the chair. And now we're going to have some flashbacks to when Rakan was living here. And he felt like he was being spied on.
What was it 17 months ago when he lived here?
Yes. So, as you said, BT, earlier, devs love their white screens.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thankfully, I have the save screen up, so it's not that bad. But yeah, you do get some flashbang moments here at the start of chapter 3. There he is. You can see him sit at the table, sipping on a drink of some sort.
Can't believe he's been drinking for 17 months.
He's just been in that chair the whole time. The same drink.
It's been a rough 17 months, man.
There's nothing in there.
What is he drinking?
Actually, it might just be a soda or a beer.
It's actually flat like we all believe, right?
Yeah.
It's a nice cold PBR.
I don't think it's cold anymore.
What the fuck is this? Oh, it better not be what I think it is. Bastards. What is this? Who the fuck are you?
It's the Boogeyman.
Slimy little fucks. What the hell do they...
So you're probably wondering, like, is Rakan going crazy right now, or is it actually him being spied on? He is actually being spied on.
There you are.
He finds a little camera.
You think you can get me that easily, huh? Nice try, you fucks! What the fuck do you want, huh? I'm right
Also,
here.
fun facts, the voice actor for Rakan came into my chat one time and was like, hey, I voice acted this guy. It's cool to actually see the game now.
Don't you fucking move.
And I was
swear
like,
to God.
what? Like, how long ago did you do the voice acting for this? And he was like, oh, it was like a couple years ago. So yeah, they had Chapter 3 cooking for like a long time, I guess, before it ever got released with the full game.
Got something I don't think we mentioned. This game came out in episodes.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. This game was an early access game, and you could only play Chapter 1, and then it got like a huge update like a year and a half later or something for Chapter 2. And then after that, there were no more updates. They just went full game release. So it did come out like episodically, which has definitely worked for some games, not so much for others. In this case, it was just because of early access, but we don't get like a last time on Revelations, you know, from Resident Evil Revelations, or like, you know, last time on Deadly Premonition. We don't get that, but all right, we're gonna make a save when the screen is fully white. Oh boy. And save. And then we're gonna go to load game, and we're gonna load that save. Now, the reason why we're saving in the middle of that white flashbang cutscene and then loading that save is because it skips a really long cutscene at the start of Chapter 3. The game, at one point in that cutscene, has your position, like, loaded to start Chapter 3. But, like, you totally messed the game up by saving and loading, so now we're just floating in the air. And we're gonna just drop down, and boom. Chapter 3 is a go. And Chapter 3 starts with the only skip in the game that was found by somebody not named Hippo. It was found by Dr. William, who's in chat. And this is the doc skip. Really just simple as that. We're going to skip.
Oh, this is some frictional game stuff right here.
Yeah, this is when the Chapter 3 is when the prop boosting starts. All right, we're going to prop boost onto this chair. And now we're going to run and crouch into this corner and hopefully clip into the ceiling. The angle is kind of weird, and also that can happen. So we gotta redo it. Okay. Oh gosh. This one's so finicky. It's hard to explain what I'm looking for here. I want to clip through the ceiling, but I also want to kind of land out of bounds. It keeps on clipping me back into the room, which is what we don't want to see. Oh gosh. Oh no. Am I stuck? Okay, I'm stuck. I gotta reload the save and try again. So yeah, I'm trying to land out of bounds so that I can then push forward and clip into the room next to it, which you would be required to go fetch a key for. If you have to reload a save like this, it's actually not faster, but I'm going to show it off anyways because it's cool.
You got like 17 months to show it off. You're good.
Yeah.
We went negative on time.
Yeah, I don't even know exactly how Doc found this. I kind of feel like we were just messing with chairs.
Oh, it's all good speedrunners do.
Mm-hmm. We were just messing with the chairs, then he sent me a clip, and he was like, hey, this is a thing, I guess.
Do you not use the chair on the bed to help get up?
No, it actually causes like you to get stuck way more often.
Gotcha.
It's a shame.
Anyone out there's ever wondered how do speedrunners find this stuff? It's just this. It's dozens of hours of doing this with no results, and then you find that one thing.
It's very true. Also, there's a lot of spooky noises that happen in Rakan's chapter, but like for the most part, you're pretty safe in it. So that super spooky noise you just heard, yeah, we're cool. It's all good. Okay, finally got back onto the bed. Come on, game. Be cool. Just clip me through the ceiling here and no. So remember earlier when I say this game is easy to learn but kind of like hard to master? It's because a lot of the skips are just finicky and weird like this. And doing them really quickly is just, as with any speedrun, is a challenge. Chair, no. It pushed me off.
I want to come along for the ride.
Move! This bit of laundry here, it's really hard to get over. There we go.
Got weak legs. Can't help it.
Honestly, Dwayne kind of does have weak legs. Okay. Back on the bed. I might just go get the key, dude.
We've stuck it out this long, we gotta get it.
You're not wrong, you're not wrong. Gotta stay committed. Okay. Back on the bed. You have to be going like a certain speed in order to get over this laundry. Because it's just that cemented to the ground, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself all the time. I just look over at the pile, like, I don't have enough speed today. Wait 17 months to do my laundry.
Come on.
All right, press 1 in chat if you think he's going to get it this try. We need some believers out there.
Chair, please. What? Dude, this chair. The chair is sick of it, too.
Chair's breakdancing now.
Kinda. A little bit.
You know, at the very least, I kind of get why the chair is not acting right.
Oh my god, dude.
Like, when you think about it, we had to reload the save earlier, so this chair's actually been waiting a long time to do this skip.
Oh, it's a little rusty, yeah.
Yeah.
Polish it up real quick.
It's just been chilling for like cold 17 months.
Been a long time. Oh, there we go. Oh my goodness.
There it is.
Finally.
Okay, now I gotta ask the important question. How much time did that save?
If you do that optimally, it saves like maybe 20 seconds. But I gotta show it off.
Worth it.
Worth. Gotta show it off for the boy.
Oddly enough, I think that was your 17th try.
1 month for every try.
Yeah, you can't fail any more tricks from here out. You're out of tries.
Yep.
Oh, well,
Yep. You have to take another 17 months.
That's very bad news because this trick is also just as hard.
That's why you're gonna get first try.
Of course. So this is called Rocket Chair.
Oh boy.
We're gonna be lifting ourselves into the air, but at a rapid speed. But first we gotta get out of bounds before we do that. So we're gonna lift ourselves through that window. If you interact with that window, it brings you to the next section of Chapter 3, but we're just not gonna do that. Instead, we're gonna clip out of bounds with the chair. Gotta make sure you have the chair with you. And then we're going to position it very specifically. And then we're going to try to ride it into that hallway. And it's quite scary.
I'm not even running it, I'm afraid. Oh.
Whoa, that was almost really good. Where'd my chair go? Yeah, that was almost first try, as you said. But now it's second try, so add another month. Oh no! Oh, I got the chair back. I got the chair back. It's all good. We can try again. Add another month.
I think we're running out of months.
We might be.
Oh.
Where? I don't even know where I am.
On a bathroom stall?
Wait, I clipped into the bathroom? What? What? I've never seen this before. How am I here? What am I doing?
I think you clipped in.
No, dude, I don't want to be here. Oh my god. All right, add another month.
All right, Chad, you're gonna have to keep track. I already lost count.
We're gonna have to ask our tech to add on to the estimate. What the speedrun, or like an hour or 9 minutes, roughly, probably. We're gonna have to add on what is 17 months worth of time. Well, actually, no, it's like 20 now, right?
Yeah,
I think it's a 3 add another month.
I think you're right.
You know what? I'll double check really quick. All right, Richard, we need to add 12,410 months to the to the runtime right now. Oh no, hours, not months. That'd be a lot of months.
So many hours.
It's a long speed run. I have no idea if it's even possible using any of the GDQ like timers either.
Oh, there we go. We did it. Okay.
First try.
That was scary too, because I thought we were gonna go over. Yeah, there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different things that can happen with that chair. You can actually get launched like across the entire map because you just go so fast. And you can also apparently clip into the bathroom, which I didn't know until just now. Today I learned. You can clip into the bathroom.
That's never happened.
That's actually never happened before.
You know, actually, I just raised the question. Can you do any of these, like, flings in any other parts of the game?
He's totally
No.
with a tranquilizer.
Only Chapter 3.
Huh.
Someone bind him up.
Because it's the only chapter where you can interact with chairs that actually have, like, collision with...
The devs knew. Chairs are too powerful.
What happened to this door?
Pride.
This has also never happened before. I don't know what's going on with this game right now.
It's a curse save, dude.
Dude, yeah. What happened to that door?
Was this save on a different patch by any chance?
No. No, it's all 3.0.2.
You have assaulted multiple employees and threatened security guards with a knife.
Right, okay. Rest of the chapter. So, we've done all of the skips semi-successfully so far. We've got one more, which is the electric room clip. and it's not as dangerous. It's just as finicky, but it's not as dangerous. We're not going to be reloading saves for it and stuff like that. It's not as time-consuming. We will not be adding any more months due to this skip.
Oh, you're just slightly overestimating. A little over 12,000 hours overestimated right now.
You know what? That's pretty good.
Normally the run takes 11,000. We're making good time at 13,000.
Very good time right now. I don't know what... I think this is supposed to be like oil or sludge or something like that. And,
yeah, liquid,
you know,
in the toilet. Yeah.
Just like James Sunderland would, he just sticks his arm in and pulls out something.
Sounds like the minigame in the Saw games. Needles.
Except those are like rusty needles. That's a favorite part of the Saw game. He just jams his whole wrist in there every time.
There's no care in the world.
I mean, I get like liquids. Like liquids, you can, put it in there, not to worry. But like rusty needles, like, oh, let me just...
All right, so we're gonna try and lift ourselves onto this. Okay, well, hold on. It needs to cooperate first. Oh. We gotta lift ourselves onto this chair, and then try to clip through this door by standing on top of the legs of the chair. So very finicky, but not really a dangerous skip. As you can see, I'm getting a little bit of weird collision with the chair. There we go. That looks good. If the chair will let me on top of it. There we go. Got it. And we're going to activate the electricity, and that turns on the elevator, and now we're good to leave Chapter 3. So because of all of the skips in Chapter 3, it is the shortest chapter. But because of all the skips, it's also the hardest. If you want to run this game, this is definitely the chapter you need to practice the most.
You're kind of selling me on Chapter 2. I don't know anymore. But you did say you can run Chapter 3 first and just do this right at the beginning?
If you want to, yeah, you can run Chapter 3 first, and then do Chapter 2, and then do Chapter 1.
Sounds good.
You can do that. You have the option.
There are just a few technicalities that need to be taken care of, but this will just take a couple days. With everything that happened, I'm sure you'll be very happy to leave this place.
I think every runner has a different preference. If they want to do all the hard stuff at the beginning and reset a whole bunch, or do it at the end to kind of play a lot of the game, then try to clutch it out.
Yeah, and I think the only thing you would lose time on doing Chapter 3 first is opening the floorboard with the crowbar. Doing that would probably only cost, like, the tiniest bit of time. It really wouldn't matter too much.
In terms of months,
it would be
what
about...
kind of friction?
It would be about 8 days.
Oh, okay.
Because you would have to... Because you can't... Or I guess actually it would be like... Maybe like 4 months. It wouldn't be that long.
4 months? You mean 4 days?
Oh, 4 days, right.
It's like 4 months. That's a lot of time.
Nah, yeah, you just have to open the floorboard with the crowbar. You could do Chapter 3 first. But you gotta do Chapter 2 second. You always have to do that second.
Hey, what are you doing? Who sent you? Wait! No!
There's no way to preserve a chair from Chapter 3 to the rest of the game, is there?
No. You cannot preserve a chair. Actually, I just realized, if you do Chapter 3 first... Ooh, I just thought of that. Actually, no, you can't do Chapter 3 first, because... you can't maintain your running speed from this scene. You can tell I haven't ran this category in a little bit. If you hold down spacebar and forward after you finish Rakan's chapter, after picking up this eyeball, you maintain your running speed throughout the house, and that's why we do chapter 3 third, because then we can start out chapter 4 with the running speed. That's, you know what, I totally forgot about that until just now. My bad. My bad. Floorboard. I cannot believe this. I have lied to the people. I can't see.
Apology.
I apologize to you, BT, and Ecdysis, and chat. I have lied. You must do chapter 3, because you would usually have your normal speed here, and doing this chapter with normal speed's like obviously a humongous time loss. So if you wanted to, you could still do chapter 3 first, but you would lose so much time just in this section alone without the running speed. So yeah, this is now officially the start of chapter 4, which isn't really a chapter, but it is. It doesn't, there's no like indication that you're doing a chapter. This is just Dwayne's story now. This is kind of what you could appropriately call it. It's Dwayne's story.
The Schrodinger chapter.
And yeah, it's the coolest stuff in the game, to be fair. It's pretty obvious that chapter 3 and 4 were the most well thought out.
Getting some big Outlast vibes from this area.
It is very Outlast vibey. Because that is technically where... So, like, Rakan was, like, admitted to, like, a psych ward after the events of him finding the cameras in his house. And Dwayne used to work a government job at a laboratory. So that's why you kind of have these interesting, like, kind of like industrial areas that you get sent to. And there's also like a tie to like the sludge, like the oily sludge that you see. Somebody at the water treatment facility like infected the water. I forget his name, but his name is in the locker that we're going to right now. Like I said, chapter 3 and 4 is like the cool story of the game. Chapter 1 and 2 is just whatever. So in terms of sanity, when you have really low sanity, like in chapter 2, we actually did have low sanity, but we got lucky. Dolores, in chapter 1, it's Lucy's friend will pop up and, you know, chase you and kill you. Dolores will pop up and chase you and kill you. Rakan will. That's pretty much what happens with low sanity. But because we're going so fast, they just didn't pop up. So going through that vent, by the way, does cancel your movement speed, your fast movement speed, but it still saves like a lot of time. Just that small section beforehand. Now, if I recall correctly, I was also supposed to watch the videotapes while I had the movement speed, so I forgot to do that, but we can go do that after this, so it's all good.
So there's videotapes and a well.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never seen this in horror games before.
Yeah, never.
Kind of surprised there's not a Ring video game.
There is.
Oh, is there?
It's not very good.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
Came out on the
trying
Sega
to.
Dreamcast. It is like a Resident Evil clone, and the best way I can sell to you is, all right, imagine really quick, right? That you're a video game exec,
Okay.
and some guy told you, you just hear the sentence, "Oh, we need to make a game about killer videotapes,"
Oh,
right?
you're fired. Sorry, get out.
No. Instead, imagine you're a game designer, and let's say maybe you didn't quite hear him right. Maybe you mumbled this word, and instead of hearing about killer videotapes, you thought he said killer video apes.
Oh.
Because you still have this die in 7 days thing, but all the enemies are like apes. It plays like Resident Evil. It just you just shoot a bunch of apes, and it's also based on the books, which apparently is accurate. But like, it's a trip.
Is this the Ring Terror's realm? No, it's not that, is
Yeah.
it? Oh, it is. Okay.
No,
okay.
it is.
It is. Okay.
I routed that game entirely myself for the longest time before people found a couple of strats,
I'm not surprised
and
by this.
it is such a weird game.
It has a couple of really good songs in it, though, doesn't it? The OST.
No, the opposite.
Uh-oh.
I think it has one of the notably worst video game songs ever made.
Oh.
Like, imagine if someone also decided to hire an ape to slam a keyboard. But also, whatever, if you think the song is good or bad, it plays for a good maybe 2 hours in-game time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like one song for a very large portion of the game. I think in terms of the speedrun, it's like 25 minutes. And the run's like maybe an hour long.
Yeah, you just half the run is that song. Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like Gaiden.
Yeah, but Gaiden has good music.
I suppose for a Game Boy game, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the retro chiptune thing. But a lot of people compare the Ring song to the Resident Evil basement theme.
Ugh, yeah, that's bad.
It's that level of bad. Which, for anyone who does not know any of the songs we're talking about, the Resident Evil basement theme sounds like someone. It gets called the fart horn song.
Yep.
And the song was so bad, the guy who wrote it claimed he was deaf after he wrote it.
Which was total lies and slander.
Right. Which, you know, nothing wrong with being deaf, but he got hired to make music for Capcom, and then when he made a bad song, he lied about it.
Very silly. One of my favorite Resident Evil songs that makes me giggle is the one in Survivor that just sounds like a bunch of people honking at each other in traffic.
Survivor is a trip. I love the song that is just one guy attacking a snare drum for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, he wrecks that snare drum. Same with the pianist. He just hits one key on the piano.
He hit the good key.
Had a small budget.
Very small budget.
Also, I guess speaking of weird horror games, if we have a moment, I want to play myself. I've never touched them. I know they exist. There are Resident Evil clone games, right? Like, you know, they already clone popular thing for Blair Witch.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I heard those are not too bad.
Yeah, Failmore
I hear
played
they're
them.
interesting. It's a bit hard to run because like it's like a 2000s PC port.
They can't be any worse than the modern Blair Witch game.
I think the main issue is that there are 3 of them and they're all developed by different companies. But like, they're supposed to be like a trilogy.
I believe that's correct, yeah. It's like they're in volumes. That's what they call them.
Yeah, it's like volume 1, 2, 3, but then they're all developed by like wildly different people.
So something that's really funny about, you know, the chapter 2 and 3 skips that we did, various places in the house now will just have random exit signs and air conditioning units and fire extinguishers and things just floating about. Just random assets loaded in that haven't been deloaded. Also, what we're doing right now is we're picking up pieces to a mask. Obviously, like, hinting at the game's name.
Like Jim Carrey's The Mask?
Very similar.
Of course.
Yes, Dwayne needs the mask to become a charismatic villain? Was Jim Carrey in The Mask really? Was he really a good guy, or was he the villain?
I think he's more of an anti-hero.
He's just kind of a character. He does some bad stuff, but then like he stops the bad guys. But then he's also
There's
like
worse
good.
dudes out there.
Oh, for sure. All right, we gotta go
And
do
there's
the
Cameron
feats.
Diaz. You're like, oh,
Oh,
oh. Then you watch Son of the Mask and you just forget that movie exists.
I haven't seen that.
Don't.
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 Got it. Which one do we need? I think it's these two. So certain things in Dwayne's story will not actually activate until you watch the tapes for them.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much you guys do movie reviews in terms of like ratings, but Son of the Mask on Rotten Tomatoes has a 6% rating.
Oh,
The audience rating is a whopping 16%.
Oh,
Hey, a little bit better, huh?
no. It's not.
Yeah. Like, that's a second point.
That's wild. Alright, so all those portraits we picked up, we slap them on this wall, and it opens up this pile of beer cans that have all been glued together, I guess, into this crazy hallway. This part of the game really does just dive straight into Dwayne's backstory. A lot of this is just hinting at things, and
ooh, Skittles.
he does love his Skittles. I don't know what your favorite flavor is, but well, actually, do Skittles even have flavor?
They should.
They do, but I mean, if you're not
They're
eating like a handful at once, then what are you doing?
Just a handful of Skittles. Give your jaw a workout.
Oh yeah. Get the sour ones and just completely ruin your mouth for the next week.
Uh-huh. Same with Warheads. Warheads do the same.
Yeah, but warheads are only good for the sour part. Once it's
That's
actual
true.
candy, they're not worth
That's true. Okay, so a bunch of doors are gonna show up. I think we're gonna go... I think we go... Oh, well, I messed up.
it. Oh.
It was clockwise, not counterclockwise. Let's try that again.
Add another month.
Add another month. This is where Silent Hill: The Short Message got its inspiration. This is cool though. I've always liked this room a lot. They used this in like promo art before the game came out, and everybody was like, "Where is this? Like, this looks like a different game." And then we finally got it. Yeah, this is the coolest room in the entire game for sure.
This reminds me of another horror game called Absoloth.
I have not played that one, but Biddy did, and she liked it.
It's a standard indie horror game.
For sure, yeah.
Get some Norse mythology going on in it.
Have you played Unholy?
No.
Kind of the same vibe.
Yeah. Absoloth also has a trick where you have to lower your frame rate down to 2 FPS. That's fun.
We gotta stop finding those things.
Yeah, if you're a PC runner, just don't change your frame rate when you play a game. Just stop.
Save yourself from the madness.
Honestly, it never gets any better in any area of speedrunning. If you're a console runner, have fun buying like the most efficient version of the game on a random hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least it's consistent then. With frame rate, it's like PC dependent, and then...
One of my favorite stories that we actually I think ended up having kind of relate to Hotfix is a while ago, Punchy used to run this game called the Galarians. And he found all this tech about, because it was so weird, it only worked well on PS3 for some reason. Like, it was the fastest there. So you play on anything else, it was slow. But he had the Japanese version. I had an American version, and for some reason, the American version was faster on PS2. Like, way faster. The problem is, though, the American version was, like, way more expensive than any other version. So it turned into a thing of, oh, you want to get world record? You need to buy the, like, rarest version of the game on very specific hardware.
Yeah, last time I checked, Galarians is, like, triple digits now.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
So who's buying that Piglet game?
No,
Went up to like over $100 at this point, by the way.
Huh?
The Piglet game, it went up to like over $100, I think, at one point.
I think it's way more than that.
Oh, it's way more. Yeah, so when all of that happened, like, overnight, people were selling the game for, like, you know, under 100, a little over 100, like, obviously trying to get in on, like, the craze, right? And then 2 days later, after all of those copies had sold, people started selling Piglet's big game for up to $300.
All right, I have some good news. Pull it up right now. I'm looking at some NA copies of the PS2 version around $100.
Oh, right
90,
now?
Yeah, 109, 120.
Cool.
Some people are still trying 300, but you could probably get it about 100.
For sure,
It's so stupid, because this is a licensed PlayStation 2 Piglet game.
It's Piglet, yeah.
It used to cost like $20, but now it costs $100 because it got memed.
It got memed to all hell. It's pretty funny, though.
Speedrunning games never gets any better. You always have to buy the weirdest version or, like, mess with the game settings beyond belief.
Yeah.
I guess just pick your battle, huh?
Pretty much. I guess, like, there's quite a few games that, like, I've ran in the past where I've had an advantage because I have a backwards compatible PS3. Like in Silent Hill 3, if you have the backwards compatibility PS3, the way that, like, PS2 save data works, I guess, is that it'll like keep your save like the way that it is until you boot the game back up, and then you boot it up and it's the same thing. So, like, you know, the books in the bookstore?
Yeah.
I had the same code every time on New Game Plus. So I would save time just by doing that. And so it was like a clear
cheating RNG. Oh my
yeah,
god.
no, it was clearly like I just had the, you know, the upper hand.
Explain this to me. Please talk to me.
So yeah, that's a thing.
I love you, Dwayne. I want to help you. First the alcohol and now this?
So yeah, speedrunning is kind of silly like that.
I want to know so I can help you through it.
Also, this cutscene's really long.
Are you slowly going insane, Dwayne?
So next time on Speedruns From the Crypt, Piglet.
Yeah!
Oh, God.
Everyone with your cold and
I have no idea how that's going. I think next episode probably be Christmas time.
Are you thinking of leaving us?
That's perfect time for Piglet.
What do you want to run from so bad that you drug yourself?
I only know one Christmas horror game, and that's Parasite Eve.
Do you want to die?
There's a few.
Oh, Blue Stinger.
Blue Stinger's 1, Parasite Eve, Dead Rising 4, The Third Birthday.
Oh, Dead Rising 4.
There's a Nightmare
right.
Before Christmas
I
game.
could help you with that, you know.
The Nightmare Before Christmas game's cool.
I'm only with you because you.
But it's more of like a hack and slash, isn't it?
It's probably
It's in the
money, but
realm.
I don't care.
For sure.
I don't care about you.
If you want to die,
I'll
And then
happily
Lifeline's one of the more underground ones, I
Do you want
suppose.
a rope?
Lifeline seems like an awful run.
Yeah, you have to talk into a microphone for like 3 hours, and you have to hope that they can understand what you're saying. It turns into more caveman grunts than an actual run.
Your ugly face. How about I break both
It does
your
sound
legs
quite
and
bad.
leave you to rot in a cellar? You're a disgrace.
There's also another weird one that's called
I
Overblood
despise you.
2.
Your children despise you.
Yeah, Overblood with the
shit
peepo scene.
Right, but specifically 2. Overblood 1 has nothing to do with Christmas.
okay.
2 has nothing to do with Overblood 1.
Nice.
It's dumb.
So it's like Titanic too.
Yeah.
Wait, what? There's 2 Titanic? No.
Yep.
Stop.
There's a Titanic too.
What's it about?
It's really stupid.
Came out in 2010.
I never knew this.
You're better off. It's one of those like rip-off disaster movies, but
It has a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh no.
is that fans or critics?
Let's see here.
How's it stack up against Son of the Mask?
Nobody ever critiqued it. It's only fans.
That's wild.
So it is lower
Son of the
than
Mask
Son
had
of the Mask.
16. You know what? We found a movie worse than Son of the Mask.
Yeah, I would say it probably is. Yeah. It's one of those asylum movies.
Also, I just read the plot synopsis. It says that a tsunami throws an iceberg at the Titanic too.
What?
I guess that's how it works.
That's how. BT.
Yeah.
Why? How did you watch this?
I mean,
Why did you watch this?
well, I've watched way worse horror movies than Titanic too. I used to have a Discord movie night, and I did so many bad horror movies that everyone stopped showing up.
I like the word before it even began, that had.
Yeah. It was weekly for about 2 years, and then I, in a month's time, killed it.
You watched Titanic 2, and then you had to stop.
No, we didn't get that far. We watched the Ginger Dead series, and then Thanksgiving 3. And,
Thanksgiving.
yeah, but specifically 3.
Oh, okay.
But there's no Thanksgiving 2.
How do you make a 3 without a 2?
It's not even worth describing. If you want to like never want to watch a movie again, just watch Thanksgiving 3. You'll just like never want to watch a movie ever again.
I watched 2001: A Space Odyssey recently.
Oh, that's a great one.
Do you remember the 8.5 minutes of black screen in the beginning?
Well, I had space for you.
I literally sat there and watched a black screen for 8.5 minutes.
But wasn't it like the best black screen you've ever watched?
I complained the whole time. I like the movie. It just there was 8.5 minutes of a black screen that nobody ever told me about.
It would ruin the surprise.
Apparently, yeah. Sorry if I spoiled movie for a lot of people who are, oh damn, I wanted to watch this movie that came out 60 years ago. Now I know that the first 8.5 minutes is a black screen.
Can't remember if I'm doing this in the right order, but I think I am.
The amount of like beers you grab there actually matter, or could you just like stack the cart as much as you want?
Well, you pick up beer until you can't pick up anymore.
Oh.
It's a good Friday night.
Like, you could fit more in that shopping cart. You could, but the game won't let you.
What's he watching is the question.
I actually never researched what these videos are. I if I recall correctly, they're just random, like, filmed, like home filmed videos of things. Like, one of them is like a wedding, and another one is like as you can see here, like, you know, a parent and their kid playing in the snow, and there's another one.
Well, how do we know that's
Always
their
ignoring us.
child?
Glued to your fucking beers. You don't talk.
We're just making assumptions here now.
You just don't care, do you?
You just found some random stranger's home movies. Nice
don't you
family at
just
the
leave?
beach. Let's see what the plot's gonna be.
And they filmed it for a reason, right? Like, oh, you should just chug this beer and get a new one.
Talk to me.
How many sips is he meant to be taking each time? It sounds like a lot, but like, the can should be empty, right?
It should be, but it's not.
Or maybe just like a noise guy. He just keeps making noises every time he drinks.
Quite believable.
Oh no, the alcohol poisoning.
You get like a shot of glass of that beer?
That's another piece of the mask.
Huh. Should go back to the grocery store and get his money back.
Probably he should. Excuse me?
For every sip. Ah, perfect cup.
Classic.
So a sip for every month. Well,
okay, I think I did this wrong. I was supposed to do this second to last. But I think we're fine. I think I can still do the other two. Uh-oh. My game crashed.
You see, it's the real life sanity meter.
Epic. Okay.
You know, we're going to put on 8.5 minutes of a black screen.
I'm gonna need some more beer then.
How many did you grab? You grabbed like 3 cases in the shopping cart, right?
Oh no.
Luckily, this is the, I put this on the last run of the night, so we have a little bit of leeway.
A little bit of leeway, thank goodness, because things have definitely gone haywire.
You know, this is a good time. I can actually make a couple of the GDQ announcements here. While we're setting, getting the game back up, I just do want to say, one, if you ever want to check out any of the Hotfix schedule, you go to gamesandquick.com/Hotfix to check out the Season 4 schedule, show you all the different runs that the different shows are having. As well, thanks to anyone who does give subs, Prime Gaming, or anything like that, to the GDQ Twitch channel, as it does help support between the events. And I believe we do have the game back up in action. Oh, you might have to restart the Discord stream. There we go.
Got it. Okay, where am I?
Perfect timing, too.
Okay, yeah, we're good. Right.
Oh, so we're going to watch the whole movie again?
No.
So the save here, was this made 17 months ago?
No, this was an autosave from just a moment ago. But now I'm confused. Oh, no, I'm not confused. We're good. I know what to do.
To save now on a 17-month-old file. So,
yes, we are still technically on that file. That is true. Okay, now we only have 3 more pieces of the mask to get.
So why is this mask broken up to begin with?
That's a great question that I don't have any answer to.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Do the devs have an answer for it?
Probably.
Okay.
At least I would assume so. If I had to guess, it's probably just an excuse to have you learn about each piece of the mask that you get. Like, in order to get it, you have to learn about Dwayne's past. So I think it's really just an excuse to have the player just learn more. I don't think the mask is really broken for any other reason.
That's a fun tunnel.
Yeah, I don't know how Dwayne fits into places he's not supposed to.
Yeah, he's like 4'6".
First the oven, now this tunnel.
What if he just doesn't have any, like, bones?
Ooh, Jelly Man.
Jelly Man.
kind of crush him down, and then he springs back up.
Oh, the car alarm went off.
Yeah, thank goodness. Before this game got like routed super heavily, you would hear that car alarm like the whole game. Every time you passed here. Okay, this is like the only somewhat scary, spooky part of Chapter 4, where you have to do this puzzle. It's a lot easier to die here than it may seem. In fact, there's a super risky strat that you can do where you don't use any of the light bulbs, but if you do it, I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like 9 out of 10 times, you will die. And
so we're going for it.
Lose a lot of time. No. Okay. I need this. Put this here. I need to break these walls. And I'm also trying really hard to listen out for Mr. Sludgeman. It's the same one I mentioned earlier, the guy who contaminated the water at the water treatment facility. So, more lore. Stuff that you kind of learn here. I think we're good. Yep, we're good. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that guy, if your sanity is like really low, he pops up like pretty much every corner that you saw me take and every wall that you saw me break. Why am I sounding like Sting?
Yeah, like some song lyrics going on here.
Yeah, he just pops up.
Every wall you break.
Every corner you take.
He'll be watching you.
So we got those 2 mask pieces, and now the final area, which I was supposed to do after the infinite beer can.
The IBC?
The infinite beer can. The tech. Oh gosh. Okay, yeah, now my sanity is like very low. It's getting there. It's getting there. Wait, what? Master bedroom's still here. I'm gonna take some pills. Why is the master bedroom still there? Is there a videotape I'm missing? There's no way, right? Hold on. Picked up that one. I'm just gonna redo all of these, just in case. Pride.
This game's supposed to be modern day, right?
No.
90s.
Okay. That makes it. I was about to say this guy's getting drunk in like, 'cause I think it came out in like 2018, and he's getting drunk watching VHSs like 2018.
Yeah.
Like, nothing wrong with that inherently, but it makes a lot more sense in the 90s as opposed to 2018 when I don't think VHS has really been popping off these last few years.
They have not. Yeah, I actually think I missed a VHS tape, and I'm trying to remember where it is. I picked up the one in the drawer here, right? Yeah, I picked up that one. I picked up the one after Rakan's chapter.
You call it on-the-fly routing.
On-the-fly routing now, yeah. Uh-oh.
Actually, a good question I have, is there any chance that when you had to reload the safety save that you ended up losing one of the tapes?
Oh, here it is. Here we go. I didn't lose the tape, I just forgot to play it. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Why, hello there, chap. I've been waiting for you for quite some time now.
17
You're
months.
my friend, aren't you? Here to share a drink with me?
Okay, this is...
Look you have!
Now this is the final thing we do in the run.
I getcha. It's hard to rest in this place, isn't it? Yes, I know. I've been here for quite some time, you know. And I'm glad you came along. But hey, we're here to talk about you, right? Never mind my foolish burdens.
This is way too canon right now.
So you feel confused, don't you? I understand. Everything has been really blurry
Like you
since
should have
you
a
woke
cigarette at
up,
this point.
hasn't it? Do you even know your own name, old friend? Dwayne, of course. There's no mystery here, but I can see that you are wondering if this is real after all. I can assure you, although this might not reassure you, that it is very real. In fact, one might say that this is the first time you're facing reality. No, don't look at me like that. I'm on your side, Dwayne. We've been friends for so long, after all. Who am I? You've always been like this, haven't you? Always asking the wrong questions. Dwayne, listen to me here. The real question isn't who am I, but who are you? Dwayne, but that is nothing but a name, my friend. I'm not asking about a name, I'm asking about who you are. Now, Dwayne.
Just a man 17 months late for his run.
Take a sip. Remember, you and me, we go
Or 17
a long
months
way.
early.
I'm on your side. Why don't we take a
heard it
little
both ways.
sip to our friendship?
Yeah, this guy just kind of yaps at you. And then you take a sip.
Cheers.
Cheers. And then he yaps more. Let me just do this for a little bit.
Oh, the infinite whiskey.
If you want me to help you, I've got to know
I
something.
think he fakes the sips. I don't think he actually takes them.
Murderer? No?
It's just like the infinite
What
beer
could be
can.
the reason behind all that
It was
drinking
just all
and
He
fake
does just
sips.
make the noise. We can actually
What's
see
up
the
with you?
liquid's not going away.
Yeah.
Oh. You've been seeing things, you
I
say?
mean, I wouldn't want to drink that either, to be honest.
Things, hmm?
What? It's been out for 17 months.
Things like that.
It's aging.
Don't you worry, my friend. Just take a sip, and everything's gonna be back to normal. Go ahead. Drink a little of this wonderful poison. It'll do you real
Sounds real
good.
convincing.
I would advise you to take that drink now, my friend.
Oh, I missed the cue. There's like really specific timing where,
See? Ain't that
Oh, it worked.
sweet? You
Aha!
can always rely on this to get you
you skip
back on
you skip
track,
like the
don't you?
cheers if you get like really good timing. You skip the
Remember
cheers and it just goes
coarse
straight to the next
taste that
dialogue.
Burns and slides down your throat, ominously bringing relief in the dulling of your senses. Come on, take another sip. You know you want it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And another sip.
And another.
It's quite easy to convince.
Very easy. Dwayne is like, oh, okay, sounds good.
I At first, like, hey, you know, those demons will go away if you do it. We just do it for the fun of it. Okay.
Yeah, I can take another one.
I threw one of those empty cigarette butts into it. You want to take a sip? All right.
And now he goes away.
Aww.
Just leaves.
Sip. Oh, yeah, of
but
course.
we'll take another sip. Might as well.
Yeah, he'll come back, maybe.
Don't need any more convincing.
I also love how it's not even like a table. It's just a random stool.
Is that match there the whole time?
No. It just randomly appears when you take that last sip.
Yeah, last sip.
I don't even know if you can take another when you're done. No, you can't. Wait. Nope.
What a shame.
What a shame. Also, you can interact with the top of the ladder here. Small little time save. But that is it. I think all we have to do now is... I'm going the wrong way. We gotta go assemble the mask.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Our neighbor is still calling. She's worried about us. There it is. It's assembled. Wow.
What? Kind of a plain mask for all that work.
You're not wrong.
Hey, most of the work was him drinking what, beer, whiskey.
True. It would be funny if it was like completely misarranged.
What if he just like made like a cardboard mask out of like the beer box?
Just fully wrapped in duct tape.
Like the pyramid head cardboard?
Yeah. Exactly.
Ooh, mask vision.
Yep, we got mask vision, which is actually just, hey, the house is normal now. Well, except for the big licorice.
Oh, it's like the one part in Bioshock 2.
Yeah. Oh, and the exit signs and the fire extinguisher and the lights and stuff. That's all just still loaded. But yeah, now the house is normal. This is, the reason why we call this, like, the full game 80% is because, well, this is the true ending. There's a couple of other endings, but they are not the true endings. And also, yes, Dwayne is breaking this wall open with his head. He's just headbutting this thing.
What a guy.
Yeah. Just crushing beers and crushing walls.
Probably like cracked the can on his head.
Should just Kool-Aid Man through it.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, this is how you access one of the other endings. But if you have the mask on, you get the true ending instead of the bad one. And that's it.
We're
Time.
doing all endings.
No. No, we're not doing all endings.
Can't believe it.
He has hands after
I know
all.
the timer says about 2 hours, but realistically, we have to add on like the other 12,000 hours.
I think this was pretty good, you know, only a little overestimate. Only a little
In
bit.
actuality, yes, but if you're memeing, then maybe a little bit more than
both.
that.
No, actually both.
It's only on
that is it.
The wrong save file.
Oh yeah, and all of these assets are still loaded in.
Definitely GG though. Before we do head on off, Maxi, for one, where if people wanted to find you, where can they find you?
Well, I mean, I do stream full time at twitch.tv/MaxiLobes, so that's the best place to follow me and keep up with what I'm doing. If you would like to keep up with me on other platforms, I am on Blue Sky. I am on YouTube. My main channel is edited content with a focus on challenge runs and speedrun documentaries. In fact, the person that I mentioned earlier, Hippo, who found all of the glitches, almost all of the glitches and skips in this game, I actually made a video on him. He also did work on a bunch of other games like Fear 2, Condemned, stuff like Remothered and The Last of Us Part 2, and the list goes on and on and on. He's found a ton of things in a ton of games. So go check that out if you feel like learning more about him.
They mentioned crowdfunding in their credits.
Uh-huh.
This is crowdfunding.
It's long too.
All right.
Nice.
Well, thank you once again for that run of Visage. Before we go, I just want to mention as well, if you have not checked out Maxi, I believe we do have the link in chat. And kind of like Blood Thunder earlier, Maxi also will be running a game at Awesome Games Done Quick. I believe he has Shenmue, which is a little bit different.
It's got a time skip mod, so it's faster.
Yeah.
But it should be a fun time. Anyway, that being said, I do want to say thank you all for watching this episode of Speedruns from the Crypt. It was fun, I guess, testing your sanity in a way. Hopefully you enjoyed these sanity-based runs. Once again, I've been your host, Ecdysis. I do plan out a lot of these shows, and I do a lot of horror games myself. If you ever wonder how those go, or, you know, how I plan these out, you come stop by my own area. My name's somewhere here. You can find me everywhere there. Blue Sky, Twitter, YouTube, all that jazz. Stay tuned. If you didn't miss out on Crosshair or Speedruns from the Crypt, we'll be doing a replay in a moment. Before we get to that, though, I do just want to say thank you all once again for watching, and have a wonderful rest of the day and or night, and take it easy.